Go Birds, and welcome to tonight's special event coverage, Blaze TV State of the Union Roast. If you're not already a Blaze TV subscriber, I highly recommend that you fix that right this instant by heading over to blazetv.com/SOTU. If you enter the promo code SOTU, you can save $20 off your subscription. And a little extra incentive for you right now. Subscribers watching this stream on Blaze TV can drop us a State of the Union related comment or question in the live chat, and we'll be responding to those, at least as many as we can, at the end of this pre-show. It's not too late to join the fun, so again, head over to blazetv.com/SOTU, enter the code SOTU, and save $20. Now, let me go ahead and introduce our illustrious panel from the Chad Prather Show. Chad Prather.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. You know, let's get you guys drinking now. Now,
okay.
I got some stuff here for Chad. I got him some tequila, and then I realized he came already armed with tequila.
I tend to.
So here you go, a little Casamigos Reposado there. And let's also go with the news and why it matters. Sara Gonzales in her normal seat.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. You're comfortable with this one.
Yeah, it feels great. It feels like I'm at home, although I will say I don't appreciate that you already alienated the audience by saying go Birds.
Look, it's Super Bowl week, and people need to understand that I'm going to be intolerable all week. A little more than normal. Now, I know the wine that you always love.
Yes.
And so I tried to find the most similar thing, and they gave me the most similar thing. And then I looked at the picture. It's kind of creepy.
Really?
It's called The Prisoner. So I don't know why. You've got prisoner wine.
Someone is... Yeah, this is definitely in someone's basement.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like there's probably some woke story as to why there's someone in chains on the bottle of your red wine, but it should work.
Great. Can't wait.
So there we go. A little later in the program, we'll be speaking to Primetime 99 Alex Stein, straight from his brand new set, and will also be joining us here in studio for the watch along. So we're going to watch this with you. You're not going to want to miss the entire speech because this is the only way it will be tolerable, that I promise you. But before that, in just a moment, the man himself, Glenn Beck, will be joining us for some preliminary thoughts. And of course, from Stu Does America, I am Stu Burguiere. Thanks so much for joining us. So here's a quick idea of what's going to go on tonight over the next couple of hours. Before the speech begins, we'll be hanging out right here and previewing the ineptness to come in tonight's annual State of the Union from our titan of a president, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. Once the speech begins around 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be moving over to the big TV over here and watch along with you and give our live hot takes and mockery as it happens. Now, before Glenn joins us, we're going to have a little fun and take a look back at some of Joe Biden's most prestigious moments of his presidency. A little over 100 days ago, we premiered a new series of videos on Stu Does America, eloquently dubbed Hail to the Gaff. And the point of the series was to document in real time the liquefaction of Biden's brain into a puddle of goo. In those 100 days, we've had something like 30 pieces air, and those are only the worst of the worst. Tonight, of those worst, we're going to go even farther and show you the 10 absolute worst. It's going to look a little something like this, starting at number 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
God love you. 9.5 million turkeys. I tell you what, that's like some of the countries I've been to.
What?
Anyway.
Anyway.
You want to talk?
Yeah, no, the turkey does not want to talk, Joe. We'll be hitting up the rest leading up to number 1 at the end of the hour. But now, let's bring in America's #1 Biden supporter, Blaze TV's own Glenn Beck. Glenn, how are you?
I'm just trying to figure out what he meant with the turkey thing. I don't think I can.
Who do you think is more capable of running the country right now? Joe
turkey.
Biden or the turkey? Okay.
The turkey is, yes, the turkey is. By the way, I've intercepted some of the aid that Joe Biden has been sending over to Ukraine, and I feel a lot better. I got all the tanks that he was sending over. I got a whole box of them. Some of them are, this one's got a boo-boo. So this one, that's the importance of the supply line. So,
yeah, something tells me they're taking photos of those tanks and going to tell us after their audit that this is where they were spending that $113 billion.
Yeah, they'll just be like, what? What's the problem? Boo, boo, boo.
So, Glenn, what is the state of this presidency right now? We just got a poll that came out that 60% of people said Joe Biden has accomplished little to nothing while in office. 57% of Democrats say they do not want him to run again for another term. This isn't going so well, is it?
No, but it's actually better than I thought it would be. I mean, no.
That's a hot take right there.
Yeah, no, it's actually, I mean, it's worse because I was hoping that he couldn't accomplish anything, but he has accomplished all of the evil plans, but he's still standing upright.
Wait, so your optimistic message for the presidency is he's accomplished all of his evil plans?
Yeah, he's accomplished the evil plan. I don't like when people are like, he hasn't accomplished anything. Well, the hell, he hasn't. Almost the complete destruction of our country.
Multiple trillions of dollars.
Pew, pew.
So what is Biden's greatest accomplishment so far? People are struggling to find any. I think he's done some stuff. What's his greatest?
And I mean this sincerely and with love in my heart. He has not wet himself in public yet.
No, we don't know that, to be clear. That is something that you wouldn't, I mean, he could have been sitting down and wet himself. We didn't know about it. He could
Imagine
be wearing
the lies
Depends.
of the White House on that one. He was wearing one of those beer helmet things, and he put it down in the podium, but he forgot, and it just was soaking in his pants. That's what happened.
Right. Behind President Biden tonight, we will have a new person, Kevin McCarthy, back there. Is he going to do the big thing where he, like Nancy Pelosi, tears up the State of the Union in a big dramatic moment at the end?
Oh God, no, he won't. No, he won't. He's probably on the take. So,
It's an optimistic.
and you know what's weird is I'm not drinking. I should be.
Yeah.
I should be. It's the only fair thing to do. If I have to watch this speech, because, the audience tomorrow, the radio audience will want to know what happened in 5 minutes, but I got to spend. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. This is the Kentucky Derby of politics. This is the Indy 500 of presidential politics. It's the most exciting 90 minutes in politics every year.
I'm sure. Really.
Oh, hang on. I'm in trouble here. The tank is rolling in.
Oh, no. No, look out, Glenn.
Yeah, I got to look out. That one didn't have any tracks.
We should point out, by the way, Glenn, that there is, we know Joe Biden is an absolutely terrible president. However, we are victimized by the State of the Union, not by Joe Biden, but by maybe a worse president. Woodrow Wilson. This is not. This was supposed to be a letter. That's how it usually was in our history.
Yeah. Can we pay attention to the Constitution? Once a year, the president was supposed to just write a letter and go, "Hey guys, the State of the Union kind of sucks right now. I don't know if you've seen it. We're in a civil war." And so Lincoln would just write out a letter, and no matter how bad it was, imagine the State of the Union that Thomas Jefferson had to give, or the one, the State of the Union during the War of 1812. Hey, State of the Union, kind of dicey. They burned down my house. But it was still in a letter. It was still in a letter. And now, because of Woodrow Wilson, he wanted to make this into a celebrity thing. He wanted to bring the press in and get everybody souped up. And now we've got these stupid 90-minute speeches where, good God, there's no truth, there's nothing. This is the curse of Woodrow Wilson. Every time there is a standing ovation, when he walks in, standing ovation, Mr. Speaker, standing ovation, the President of the United States. Oh, God. Every time you hear applause, that just everybody's standing up and it means nothing. I want you to think to yourself, I hate Woodrow Wilson. I hate him.
It's his fault. I think we should just go to TikTok at this point. We just do it on TikTok. It would limit it to like 1 minute, and it would go directly to the Chinese government, which is kind of the whole plan here anyway, I feel like. Oh, no, the tanks are back.
Oh, my gosh, the tanks are back. Look how big they are, too.
I think maybe you should consider drinking, Glenn. You've gone a long time. Your life hasn't really improved. Let's be honest about it.
No. I mean, I have a good family and I'm married.
Yeah, there's those little side things.
But I still know you.
And I will say, it would be much more entertaining for us. Like, your unwinding of your career at a point where you're the, elder statesman would be incredibly entertaining. Yes, the elder statesman.
Elder statesman.
Yeah, you're like Joe Biden. You're basically Joe Biden at this point.
Right.
The unraveling of that situation would be incredible to watch. Think of the entertainment value.
Yeah, thank you. I'm cursed. I'm painting Uncle Sam here, and it's going to be in 3 panels. He's not going to be wearing any pants when I'm done, but and I keep looking at it today, and I keep thinking, that's Joe Biden. That's Joe Biden. He's just like, get on, Biden. I want you to sit down. And people in other countries serve pizza.
Speaking of that, let me give you number 9 on our top 10 countdown of horrible moments from Joe Biden. Watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
Tim Ryan in Ohio said he doesn't want you there. Warnock said wouldn't say. Do you think they're making a mistake?
No, there are 16 there I've already gone in for yet, and a lot more are asked. Another 20 or so. I'm going to be going in.
Okay.
And a lot more of them. I got 5 little piggies. And I got a lot more than that, too. And I got to be going to my piggies.
I mean, the guy is, what's amazing is he is the perfect guy to be president right now, because I don't think he knows he's lying at this point. I'm not convinced they don't come in and go, whoa, Mr. President, there are so many people asking for you to show up and speak, but we got to keep it under wraps. You're too popular, Mr. President. I mean, I think he might believe that.
He very well might actually believe that. Glenn, what do you expect from tonight? What do you think we will see here with this ridiculous speech?
I'm expecting to enjoy you and the panel getting drunk. I don't expect absolutely anything. It would be interesting to see, if he talked about the balloon. Up and away in my beautiful balloon. I think it'd be interesting. I doubt he's going to say it.
I mean, it's quite clear they were just planning to hide that from us, right? Like, if we didn't see it, if we didn't, if some guy, the guy we talked to on radio today, didn't look up in the sky in Montana, we would have known nothing about this.
Yeah, the Pentagon scheduled a press conference on it today. It was canceled for some unknown reason. It was supposed to happen at 1:30 this afternoon. They canceled it. Why? Why did they cancel it? Because I think it was like, no, don't say anything about that balloon or the popsicle that I got from President Z. I mean, he's on the phone with President Z now for, I was talking to him for 2 hours. What are you, like 2 teenage girls or boyfriend and girlfriend when you're in high school? What are you talking about? Nothing. I just like listening to him breathe.
No, you say bye. No, you say bye.
Yeah, you say bye. No, you say bye. No. So, by the way, speaking of bye, I'm bye.
That's the type of announcement we need in the middle of a State of the Union. Something groundbreaking like that. I mean, I will say, I am excited for the possibility of Joe Biden in front of the country trying to talk about balloons, because that could go in any bizarre direction.
And there were these big zoomers out there. And now,
I mean, what's crazy is that we could have blown it out of the sky with a BB gun. We could have just taken a jet and said, hey, let's not waste any bullets here. Let's just take it out with a BB gun. And instead, we didn't aim for the balloon. Remember, the video of the balloon is deflated, and there's just like a wire hanging from the bottom. Right. Okay, we targeted with $1 million missile the electronics, and now we've got Navy SEALs 40 feet underwater looking to find any component. You obliterated them. It's like blowing out the candles on a birthday cake with a bazooka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is bizarre. They handled that in the way that you'd expect them to handle it.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Beck, live from his home, checking in, going to watch the speech with us. tonight. And behind you, Glenn, your art. I don't think this stuff is available at glennbeckart.com yet, is it? Or is
No. This is the color study. This is one of my favorite artists from. This is originally by John Christian Leindecker, or Jonathan Christian Leindecker, and so I'm doing one, but I'm changing. So he's not going to have pants. I actually have an old man model to get the skinniest, knobbiest knees possible. And it was a little awkward asking, my wife's father, hey, could you take your pants off? Just let me take some pictures of you in your boxer shorts.
If you think your home is interesting, think of Glenn's home. Glenn, thanks so much for coming on, man.
You
I
bet.
appreciate it. All right. Let's go number 8 on our countdown of Biden's worst moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
We'll construct a second fab here in Phoenix to build chips, the 3 nano chips, the 3 nano chips that are 3 nano. And you know what I'm saying.
And we don't. No, we don't know what you're saying. Welcome to Blaze TV, blazetv.com/SOTU. Use the code SOTU. It'll get you $20 off. And if you're a Blaze subscriber, go in the chat and submit some questions, whatever you want us to talk about here on the program. I'm here with Chad Prather and Sara Gonzales. You've been seeing some of these moments from the first. I mean, it's funny because we were going to do his entire presidency, but there's too many to fit into a top 10, basically. The last 100 days is basically all we have. He's a pretty impressive guy, this Joe Biden.
Really? Which Joe Biden are you watching?
You didn't think that was the nano chip thing? You weren't impressed by his knowledge of the industry?
No, actually, as a matter of fact, I was not. And I would say that probably his biggest accomplishment so far has been not dying. And that's about it.
I will say that is sort of surprising. Like, again, we all root for the best of health. But yeah, I think most people were like 6 months, maybe 9 months. At least until his health got bad enough he had to leave office.
Right.
Yet he's still there somehow, Chad.
Yeah, Joe may be alive, but the squirrel on the wheel in his head is dead. That thing is just looping around and around and around, and every now and then the tail just kind of hits the cage and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go back to Glenn for a minute in regards to that. Here's my solution for Glenn. I know he wants to stay sober, and God bless him for that, but I think he should at least allow himself in his geriatric age to at least be on the same drugs that Joe's going to be on tonight while he delivers the State of the Union. Yeah, because he's hopped up on some wild stuff.
Yeah, because this is way too late for him to just be awake.
Yeah.
Right?
But you got to think of the chemistry balance on that, because you don't want to kill the guy.
Right.
But you want to keep him alive. You want to make him look alive, and that's a lot right now, because that's basically resuscitating someone completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It may not even be the real Joe. We don't know.
It's almost a resurrection. It's like a real-time resurrection every day.
I'm always anxious to hear Joe talk, because this is a guy who keeps the knuckles of his toes right on the precipice of eternity at all times, and he can see into the afterlife. And I don't know what he's ever going to bring back with him as he communicates with us. It's almost like hearing from the dead. It's a seance, quite honestly. This is the seance of the Union.
Well,
tonight.
that's why he called his friend up, his dead friend, Jackie.
Yeah, she'd passed, of course, in a car accident a month before, and get her up here. Yeah,
he's been doing that sort of stuff for years too. I mean, that's just part of who he is. He had that time where he did stand up Chuck to the guy who was in the wheelchair, and he's like, "God, stand up! Oh, God love you. God love." That's his
God
when he realizes he's done something
you.
horrible. God love you. Well, what am I talking about? That's where he goes.
Well, and then, of course, you have the left's defense of like, well, he has a stutter, Stu.
Oh, yes. Did you guys see this New York Times piece that came out? I think it was today. This long puff piece about how they work and work and work to help this poor guy get past his stutter. He's reading this speech, the speech we're going to see tonight. He's apparently been reading it for weeks and weeks to practice it so he does not stutter on stage. So any mistake he makes is one that really should not occur. This is all he's been doing, other than shooting down balloons. He's just been practicing this speech. And I mean, look, let me give you the next one, number 7 on the list. You tell me how well he's doing with this stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
The right that I pushed hard and it finally got changed, the married couples in the privacy of their bedroom, I'm thinking about the Dobbs decision. Imagine, well, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay. All right.
All right.
We'll get to that in a second.
It's almost poetic, honestly.
In what way?
It's a very free form.
Yeah, okay.
There's not a lot of
It's true.
meter or symmetry to it at all. This is not a haiku or an onomatopoeia. But this is a robinette.
Yeah, it's a robinette. It is. I mean, it must be scary, right? Like, he gets halfway through these thoughts, and like it just turns off. I have an old 70s car, 78 old British car. And, it runs occasionally, right? Like, every few months you got to get back in. It doesn't run very well. And sometimes when you press that gas, it just doesn't go. And you're sometimes pulling out in front of a car and you press that gas and it just stops. And that's what I feel like. He gets in the middle of these sentences. He presses the gas and there's just nothing there.
Yeah. I also can appreciate that he interrupts himself more than anyone I've ever known. Like, he's interrupting himself. Well, anyway, I'll get back to that in a second. Well, okay. Well, hold on. I'll get back to that. Not a joke.
Is that another voice interrupting him?
That's what I'm wondering.
I almost my suspicion there is he can hear himself being reprimanded by the staff later. So
Or
he's already
maybe in real
having
time.
he's already had it could happen. He might have an earpiece in. But I just think that that would be harder work to hear someone in your ear. To me, if you're already in cognitive decline and you need that kind of a prompt, that would be even harder for me. But I think he's already being reprimanded in his head. He knows, like, I went out on this limb. I can't keep going out there. Well, anyway.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just like slam on the emergency brake, pull the emergency brake, and spin out and just hope you're pointing the right direction.
Yeah.
And based on where we've seen him walk on stage looking for people to shake their hands, he's never seems to be pointed in the right direction. So
let's look at the state of the Democratic Party. And I can hear Alex. I don't know if you guys can hear him but for some reason he seems to be up. So if you are sitting here and you are looking at yourself as a Democratic Party member, you're obviously horrified by Joe Biden, and you love to have someone else to run. But you realize that your number 2 option is Kamala Harris. And your number 3 option is question mark? Maybe like Gavin Newsom, maybe? I don't know where you're going. Like, how does the average Democrat feel about this situation?
Well, we were just reading on my show, I think the poll said that 6 in 10 Democrats want a new nominee for 2024.
Yeah.
It does not feel good if you're Joe Biden and you're already the president, right?
This isn't supposed to happen.
No, but I mean, the optics, I keep going back to the optics of how do you make the move? Because it feels a whole lot like they're trying to garner enough support for Gavin Newsom to try to, like, they want him to be the guy. Which is fascinating because he went through the whole recall situation. But how do you jump Kamala? Because you've just put her up on this pedestal as like the first, check all the boxes here. The first, Indonesian woman, the first African-American woman. I mean, they had all of these boxes that they were checking for why she was so qualified and why it was so historic that she was in the job. And then you're like, yeah, we decided we didn't like her. We're going to skip over and pick a white man.
It's going to be really hard to do that. It's gonna, what do you see the state of this field?
Well, Kamala she does check all the boxes. She's like a 64 box of crayons, She's got all the colors there, but equally intelligent as intelligent. So, we look back when Barack Obama was president, the media couldn't let him fail. They needed an idiot behind him. They needed somebody that they knew that if something happened to Barack Obama, there was no way this guy could be president. And Joe Biden happened to be that guy. Well, they put Joe Biden in here. They installed him basically because he wasn't as radical. I think that what they thought was, we'll get him elected and then we'll radicalize him. We'll tell him, because he'll be a puppet. We'll give him, he's been on the club board for so long. Let's make him chairman. Yeah. He's been there for 50 years. Let's put him on there. We'll radicalize him once he's in there, being under the pressure. But how do we find somebody that's so stupid that they'll want to keep Joe Biden in for this deal? And they came up with Kamala Harris. And now I think that actually they're keeping her so high. Like, she's on mushrooms. Like, she's not in the same reality that we're in. I mean, she has all the signs right there. She's smoking a couple of doobs every day. And then she's getting in front of people and talking about, they launched, and people are like, oh, God, we can't have that.
Yeah. Right.
But at some point in time, they're going to have to get close enough to 24 where she can't be in office long if they snatch that squirrel off the wheel. Like, if they finally pull that out and Joe is no more, she can't be there for long. Because again, she's stupid. They keep her just enough in the dark that she's going to think she's actually got a shot to run at 24. And I'm sure she will.
Yeah, I mean, they show in the polls, like if no Joe Biden, if he decides not to run, the number one choice of voters in the Democratic Party is Kamala Harris. Now, it's all name recognition at this point.
It has to be.
But it gives her a head start at the very least. All right, I want to get to some of your Blaze TV subscriptions here in a second. But first, let's look at number 6 on our Joe Biden countdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
Well, if anybody think if we were doing it for the first time now in the 21st century, going into the 20th, from the 20th century going into the second quarter of the 21st century, that we'd say 12 years is enough? Think 12 years is enough going into 20, 30, 40, 50?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I haven't either.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. Where's that been hiding? That's an Easter egg right there. That's like one that's rotten in the yard. It's been there way too long.
That's
Wow.
I would love to see, if you're on Blaze TV, I would love to see your translation of what he was actually trying to say.
I would really like to see some up close of those audience members because he was looking at them for validation and affirmation. and those people were like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they really, at some level, you just can't keep it together. You're sitting behind this guy, he's just saying 20, 30th century, I mean, he's just going on and on and on. You have no idea where to even go with it.
Second quarter of the 21st century.
Look at the guy in the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
wait, what?
What is this fool talking about?
You really have to have a poker face to listen to that.
Yeah. You got to be really careful with who you select to be behind Joe Biden, because if you get anyone honest, it's going to go really, really poorly. So let's go over to Sarah. You have some of the questions coming in on Blaze TV.
I do. Let's see. Well, Blaze TV subscriber Emily Miller just said, I would not watch the speech if it was not for this. So I don't know whether to say you're welcome or I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't know. And let's see. Andrew says, how many grasshoppers would you need to replace one cow? And what is the comparison of grass needed to feed them versus the cow? I believe, I'm going to guess that he's talking about eating the bugs.
Eating the bug.
Plan for us to get rid of meat and eat the
Stu
bugs.
has probably worked that equation to some degree out in his head at some
he
point in
should
time.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great question. So as a vegetarian, you're not eating the insects either.
That's right. Maybe that's my out. I mean, I'm going to look like the smart one eventually, because they're going to be like, you have to eat cricket paste. And I will say, I can't. I'm sorry.
I'm a vegetarian.
And I
Can't do it.
I can plausibly claim I'm on the left at that point.
Yeah. They can make tofu taste like cricket. Then we're in business.
Then we're in business. Then we're in business.
All right, I got one more here. Who is running the Biden administration with Jill hanging out at Eagles games and Grammys?
I know. This is the most disappointing thing about this week, is that Jill Biden claims to be. And I've never heard of this until all of a sudden they're in the Super Bowl. All of a sudden we're starting to hear that Jill Biden is some Eagles fan. I don't believe it. I don't believe she's a doctor or an Eagles fan. That's my stance. I'm sticking to it, because it really ruins it. I don't want to root for a team that Jill Biden also roots for. That's this rough. It's hard to do.
Wait, and I just want to, for a refresher, does John Fetterman root for the Eagles or not root for the Eagles?
Well, he said the Eagles are so much better than the Eagles. But he's actually, he meant to say the Steelers are so much better than the Eagles. Yet another thing he got wrong. It's Oz. Dr. Oz was the Eagles fan in that race, which did not help him, apparently.
No.
not enough.
I'm confused, too, at this point.
All right, let me give you, if you want to be confused, let me give you number 5 on the Joe Biden countdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
As I said, my dad used to say, paycheck's a lot more than, it's about your dignity.
Yeah. Your pet checks are about your dignity. Make sure to remember that. It's very, very important. Let's do one more. Number 4
What?
on our list of Joe Biden gaffes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
I've traveled over 140 countries around the world. I'll paraphrase the phrase in my own neighborhood. The rest of the countries, the world's not a patch on our genes. If we do what we want to do, we need to do.
No. What?
Yeah.
None of these things make any sense.
Listen. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this is not only National Ballet Day, which we're going to watch this guy dance around this speech for a long time, but it's also National Periodic Table Day. Yeah, that's a thing. This is going to be equally as confusing and boring.
Very, very true. Let me give you. Have you seen the bingo card we have? You can go on our social media and check this out if you want to play along at home We have much alcohol here that I don't know how alcohol ties into bingo. But
I'm
whenever he
loaded.
does
We're
one of
gonna
these
make
things,
it.
we're going to make
make
it
it.
tie in. We've got the a squad publicity stunt as one of the squares. Come on, man! If he says that, you got to drink or at least mark your board. Says something racist. I mean, he usually does that in almost every speech. AOC crying, probably because she's terrified someone's threatened her, as she always thinks, or is hitting on her. Those are the two things that AOC thinks. You got Joe Biden. Jill Biden has to help out sometime in the speech. Possible, probably at the end for that one. Biden slurs words. I mean, can we just check that one right now? A creepy whisper, definitely going to happen. Yelling. He has that weird thing with the voice where it goes very, very quiet and then very loud in very odd moments. Doesn't seem reasonable that he would raise his voice like that, but he does. Biden tells a fake story from the past. Certainly we'll hear that. Some jokes fall flat. Yes. Awkward silence. Calls Kamala president. Very likely.
Probably will happen.
Free square in the middle for your BlazeTV subscription. Blames Trump for something. Of course, that will happen. Black History Month. The State of the Union is strong. Mentions corn pop. That one, I feel like he got 30 or 40 to 1 on that one. If he actually calls corn pop out in the middle of this, I'll be surprised. Ukraine. Kamala laughing awkwardly. Thanking Obama. Can't read the teleprompter. Vaccination. Says he was in civil rights protests when he wasn't. Reads instructions off the teleprompter. Yes, he could actually read the instructions off the teleprompter.
He is known
Stand
for
up,
that.
clap, and of course, attacking DeSantis. That'll be an interesting one because they do seem to think, and they see DeSantis, I think, as a real threat. We're starting to see now Trump also kind of outwardly attacking DeSantis. This is going to be a messy couple of years here.
Very messy.
Yeah, you look at how they treated Trump and you would think like, okay, well, DeSantis would at least have a clean slate from the left because they can't stand Trump and DeSantis hasn't really done anything nationally to piss them off. But then you hear them talking about how DeSantis is worse than Trump already for all of his, what they would call don't say gay bills and everything like that. So they definitely are targeting him already.
It's one of those things that no matter who the Republican president is, they just always say they're worse than the one before.
So do you think that has been amped up in the last decade, or was it always like that?
I think I remember going back to Bush, because Bush was like really hated. I mean,
Yes.
the media
They hated
despised him.
George
They
W.
called him a literal terrorist
Right.
all the time. And then it was like Giuliani started running, and here's a guy who's like, working for gay marriage, and he had all these like moderate social positions, and they were like, you don't understand, this guy's going to be worse than Bush. And then it was Romney was going to be worse than Bush. And then it was Trump was going to be worse than Romney and Bush. And I thought Trump might be the peak. I mean, they really hated Donald Trump a lot. But here they are with DeSantis already saying he's worse. It's really a fascinating thing.
Yeah. So you're saying it started with Bush. That's kind of how I feel.
No, I mean, there was certainly a Reagan. They hated Reagan, too.
They hated Reagan,
hated
but God, Reagan was
See,
so
you guys
good.
are,
I mean, he
you're
was
older
just so
than me,
smooth
so I don't know.
Oh, wow.
with this whole deal. But
So
I mean,
thank you so much, Sara Gonzales, for coming on the broadcast.
But if you'll remember, W gave them a lot of fodder too, because he had
was a horrible speaker.
He had what was bordered on a speech impediment himself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And had the foot and mouth disease. And
They never gave him the stutter thing. They were like, well, actually, he just has a stutter from childhood. They never gave him the puff piece in the New York Times
none of that.
apologizing
none of that.
for all of that.
I never thought that it could get worse than George W. Bush. I never thought that it could get worse than that.
Well, tell me if you think this one is worse. This is number 3 on our countdown.
Immediately, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
Biden's being Biden's being extremist.
There you go, if you didn't understand that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I want to bring in Blaze TV's Alex Stein, fresh off the brand new set for Prime Time with Alex Stein, premiering tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern on Blaze TV and YouTube. Alex, how's it going?
It's freaking going awesome, Stu. Look, I finally got my own set. I'm a pimp on a blimp. And listen, even Joe Biden's senile State of the Union address, as bad as it can be, I'm up here in the air with one of my freaking heroes. And listen, I couldn't get my biological father to join me, so I got my biological uncle, Gavin McInnes, to be on the show as well. So I'm doing great. I don't know how I could be doing any better, honestly.
So the set looks great. You look like you're actually flying through, apparently, Dallas. The motion is very...
Do not break the kayfabe, Stu. No, we are flying through this thing, dude. Do not. And listen, I also want to say this. A lot of people don't realize. They say Gavin is one of the most censored people on the internet. Well, listen, and people are going to get mad, but I actually am using military-grade metaverse technology where I've actually uploaded my mother's consciousness into the current studio so I'm able to communicate with her. So this show's going to be crazy. We're going to have guests on like Gavin. We're not afraid to push the metaphorical envelope like a lot of these cookie-cutter YouTubers are out there.
So does Gavin have an idea, like an over-under on how many shows you have before you're actually canceled?
Ask him.
I'm wagering one. I think tomorrow's going to be the debut and then the denouement all in one grand episode. But it'll be like Led Zeppelin. It'll go out in a blaze of glory. We'll all die together.
Okay, wait, that's not funny because Gavin said that, and today Glenn Beck said it's going to be one episode. They're talking about, everybody thinks I'm doing more than one episode, Stu. If they try to cancel me, I'm coming up here and I'm going postal. And for anybody that knows what that means, it's not a good thing, all right? So nobody fire me. I want to keep my job. I have a bunch of hungry cats. Can you imagine that? They don't eat for free, so I need to keep my job. Please don't fire me, Glenn.
Well, I think the thought is not whether you're going to do more than one show. It's whether we air more than one show.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Who knows? Well, this is the other thing is, I hate to say this, but there's always a saying, be careful what you wish for. Now I got my own show. Now I got to be funny. It's like, now it's freaking time to shine. So the pressure's on me. The spotlight's on me to perform. And, it's kind of like I said, be careful what you wish for. But I'm not even kidding when I say this. It is a dream come true to come here and walk and look at my own set. I know I don't want to just pat my own self on the back, but it's really like a come to Jesus. I feel like I made it, even though I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of fun. It starts tomorrow night, so definitely don't miss it. And I will say, Glenn did bring up the fact that your set is a blimp. And he did bring up the word Hindenburg when speaking of your set.
And then Gavin, my mentor, says one freaking episode. I'm done. I'm not going to make it.
It'll be a great episode. I'm not saying so many bad episodes.
Gavin's going to give me the Kanye curse. Just one episode, one and done with Gavin, and I'm off the network. No, but honestly, this is the other thing is with the show, though, first of all, I want to thank the Blaze. But second of all, we have to be different. We have to be cutting edge. And that's why I want to emulate when Gavin started Vice. We want to be the new Vice. We want to be the Blaze Media 2.0, Pimp on a Blimp. We're going to take it into the cutting edge future of digital media. So stay tuned.
It's going to be a blast. It's starting up tomorrow night. Gavin, what are you thinking? What are you expecting from the speech tonight? Are you actually going to watch this thing?
I'm expecting unprecedented, stultifying, hair-whitening lies. Like lies where you go, what the... like full-on lies. I saved the economy. Gas prices are at an all-time low. Inflation is over. Black unemployment has never been better. I saved the world from Trump. I promise you, all night. He's even going to make the Chinese balloon sound great.
Yeah, I think he will. Alex, what are your preview thoughts here?
Oh, well, listen, I'm just really upset that it's not Kamala Harris delivering it because I know that if she delivers anything, she does it best on her knees. But listen, I'm not here to make fun of Kamala. I'm here to say, listen, Joe Biden is the greatest president of all time. His son, Hunter, is the greatest crack-smoking first son of all time. So I'm honored, and I'm actually privileged to have such a great president. So every single thing that Joe Biden says tonight, not only do I support, but I agree with.
That's good. It's good to hear. It's that sort of coverage you'll be getting on Primetime with Alex Stein. Yeah. Alex, on your first show, is Gavin your guest?
Gavin is the in-studio guest, but we actually have even a bigger guest. I'm getting something in my earpiece. Listen, we tried to put this together. We kind of hacked the White House. We got into Delaware, and basically, supposedly, if we're not getting trolled, I think we have Joe Biden on a Skype call. Oh, look at this.
Whoa.
Hey, guys, it's Joe Biden. Hello.
Hey, Joe.
Joe.
You there?
Yeah,
we're here.
It's me.
Yeah.
I'm the vice president for Commander Harris.
No, you're the president.
You're the president.
I got to tell you guys that's not me, man. I'm in my garage here with my Corvette.
You're not doing the State of the Union?
A bunch of documents. I can't get out. I don't get it. Am I supposed to read these? Am I grounded, man? Why was the door open? It's locked. I'm scared.
Can you hear us okay?
Are you guys talking?
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking now.
I can't hear anything. There's a microphone with
we're
a line
live,
through it and a video
Joe.
camera with a line
the
through
mic
it. No cameras
and
and
the
videos
video.
allowed. What's going on,
Click
man?
those icons.
Why isn't anything allowed anymore?
Click the speaker icon, Joe. You can't hear us till you hit that icon.
Not back in the day. Where's Doug?
Well, I don't know where Doug is. Click the speaker.
Hey,
Listen,
Doug.
Joe, we're trying to talk
There's
to
a guy
you.
named Snapcrackle.
Snapcrackle.
What is he? Oh my gosh, he's on a little bit of that Hunter Biden fentanyl. I think he found Hunter's fentanyl again.
We don't even know if that was real, too.
Well, in this day and age, I just consider everything real that I see on TV and the internet. So I believe that was real, personally.
Good policy. I think Biden's been lifting a little bit. Has he been hitting the gym?
He looks lean. I was noticing that too. I think he's on a cycle of steroids, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you know,
got some shoulders.
Yeah, he looks good. Listen, Donald Trump is a great president, but I mean, I don't know if he had freaking, guns like that. I mean,
ripped.
Yeah, he looks really lean. I mean, I would not be surprised if he was not on some sort of performance-enhancing molecule.
All right, Alex Stein, the big show starts tomorrow night. Thanks for coming in. And Alex, I'm going to be checking in with you here in a couple of minutes as well. A quick reminder, BlazeTV, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the platform right now. Start dropping your State of the Union questions and comments into the live chat. We're going to be getting to those here in just a second. But first, let's do number 2 on the Joe Biden countdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
More than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half of the women in my administration are women.
Yeah.
More than half of the people in his administration are women.
Hold
sir.
on. What is a woman?
He has absolutely no idea.
Well, this is why I'm calling back to the paying a little homage to the last great Democrat president with a cigar, Bill Clinton.
At least he knew that.
knew?
I will say, at least Clinton knew that.
Who knew what a woman was? And God bless him.
Did you just sniff your cigar?
Well, me. I'm wearing a blue jacket too. It's
You
not
do-
a dress, but
You do realize that's not lit.
it's not lit, but it's been places.
Let's
Gavin-
talk about anything else right now. Sarah, we have more questions from Blaze TV subscribers.
Yes, we do. Elizabeth says, I know you guys briefly touched on Joe Biden definitely being on drugs, but she wants to know what drugs do they have him on to come on this late? Probably methamphetamines.
Yeah, it's got to be an upper for sure.
Clearly.
Well, I mean, I'm on speed and it's working for me.
Right.
So I'm thinking probably a little bit of that.
Yeah, because the cocaine thing will get you there, right? I mean,
Well, but it didn't last long enough. Like that's
Really?
and coming from a subject matter expert, it's only going to last about 20 minutes, and then you're going to need another little.
wait, is
deal.
that true? 20 minutes?
About 20
That's
minutes.
it?
That's why.
That
Yeah,
seems
that's
like
why.
a poor investment.
Why are you arguing with me? I am not here to. I am not here to debate you. I'm here to educate you. And then you're going to have to take another little sniff. And
Wait, no
and
wonder
so for
the
an hour and a
80s were
half.
so weird. That's 20 minutes. That's all you were getting. It was
That's why you
expensive.
buy big
That's what I'm
bags
saying.
too.
That's a bad investment.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
That's a
just
really
saying.
bad investment.
This
That's
is
what
why
keeps-
crack was so effective.
That's what keeps cartels going.
Yeah.
All right, Mike Carboner says, popcorn is popped, drinks are poured. Let's go, Brandon. And Dane Alexander said, should Kevin McCarthy rip up the State of the Union at the end? Should we be a little more jerkish than we have been to the Democrats? I say 100% yes. Do all the things that the Democrats have done to us for so long. Fight fire with fire. Absolutely,
I
yes.
think Kevin McCarthy should put on the hat with the horns at some point during the back. You know, like
Sam Smith,
yeah.
Grammys.
No, or that one, yeah.
No,
I
the
was like-
Viking hat?
I was thinking more like the
Oh,
January
the
6th.
January
Yeah.
6th, yeah.
And just put it
Why
on
not?
in the background.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be entertaining. Although the Sam Smith thing could work too. Do we have any transgendered Congress
you
people
would
that
have.
we know of?
I call back to when Joe Biden gave the speech there in Philadelphia, Independence Hall, when that hellish communist red behind him. So I think the Sam Smith Grammy motif would go very well because I felt like I was in hell listening to that speech.
Yeah.
That's right. That
and
was
so-
weird. That was like the Empire.
Yeah, it was. It was like a precursor to the Grammys.
Yeah.
With that whole deal. We did see Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman from Georgia, walking down the hall today on her way to the chambers with a big white balloon in tow behind her. So this could be a show.
I can't see you with the cigar the same way now after that last rant.
Well, trust me. I'm just going to be over here sniffing and sucking. Sarah, don't you roll your eyes at me.
Who invited him?
I know. Not,
By the
certainly
way,
wasn't
can I
me.
just point out really quickly?
Yes.
You poured my wine, and there's small flecks of I don't know what.
Oh, God.
I didn't buy the wine.
It's not.
I feel like it was in the glass,
Yes.
probably. It looks like paint chips, but I'm still drinking it.
Hey, lady, drink it.
It's just lead from this building.
Yeah, we're about to watch like a disaster, a walking nightmare. So I'm just drinking
as a subject matter expert, would lead inside of alcohol get you drunker
It won't kill you.
faster?
Trust me, I'm a child of the 70s.
Lead paint was everywhere back
The one
then.
thing I learned from COVID is a little bit of tequila, a little bit of zinc, and a lot of cocaine. It keeps you alive.
Oh my God.
That's right.
That's
It's,
your health recommendation from Dr. Prather.
Kills everything.
Please don't take it.
We have some tweets as well that have come in. We asked the question, President Biden's State of the Union address will be blank. And we got your responses. Salem Wolf says President Biden's State of the Union address will be making the Grammys last night look good.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's sad.
Biden's State of the Union will be out of touch. Yes, 100%. On Holiday writes, fun with the Blaze for sure. Well, I hope that's true. It's going to be fun for us because we've got lots of alcohol here. So whether it's good or not, we're going to enjoy it. And that's what alcohol is legitimately designed for. Cindy Rossetti writes, the President's State of the Union will be painful to watch. Very true. President Biden's State of the Union from Kenneth. He writes, an hour of one lie after another. I feel like there's a low approval rating in this audience for President Biden.
You think?
Yeah.
What was your first clue?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Joe says the President Biden State of the Union address will be, the thing.
That's the most accurate one that I've seen.
That is. Tyler writes in, President Biden's State of the Union address will be a hot mess.
Yes.
It will be. Chris says it will be incomprehensible, which is a word. Can you think of how many hours it would take Joe Biden to get through the word incomprehensible? I mean, think of how many times that would start and stop and start over again.
It has a stutter, Stu.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It misunderstood.
Yeah. And this is from Phoebe, President Biden's State of the Union address will be unwatched. Do you think that's true? Do people care about this at all?
Well, they can't get out of the house because they can't afford gas to go anywhere. So what are you going to do?
You got to flip it on.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I seem to recall last year the State of the Union, correct me if I'm wrong, the State of the Union rating, the watch rate was way down,
Yeah.
I think. And so I think I've narrowed it down to like just media members who watch it now.
Yes, I think that's
then,
true.
Yeah, and then we have to go through all of this so that you don't have to, right? So then we like digest it and explain to the American public what they need to know. But everyone who's watching are political junkies like us, so they're along for the ride, which I love.
Okay, well, speaking of digestion, I believe we have a wine glass. Can you bring the wine glass in for Sarah so she's not drinking paint chips?
What?
Is that
Yes,
Wow, what service.
yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I was going to drink the lead paint chips, so I appreciate it.
I might help, I will say, especially when you watch this clip, because it's our #1 clip for the top 10 Joe Biden moments over the past like 90 to 100 days. And this one, just watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
Cisco Systems and Cyber Bastion, a diaspora-owned small business. And this will include partnerships between African-American companies to provide cybersecurity services to help save lives and combat COVID-19, particularly in Prosper Africa Deal Room. That sounds like something that we shouldn't be saying. Prosper Africa Deal Room. I kept asking, where's the deal room? I think I'm looking at it.
This has been the President of the United States of America.
Really?
May God have mercy on our souls.
Was that the longest Joe Biden gaffe? He just keeps going.
It just keeps going and going and going.
What?
Doesn't sound like something we're supposed to be saying.
Yeah, what did that mean?
No kidding.
It doesn't seem like you're saying anything.
No.
I want to say really quickly, a guy wanted to know what kind of wine, which we mentioned at the top of the program. It's called Prisoner.
Prisoner.
And it's a very creepy packaging.
The packaging is creepy. How is the wine?
Here,
Is
hold
it
it to
good?
the camera. There it is.
right
so
there.
it's a person, and they're like
they're in a straight
they're
and
chained.
chains. Yeah.
It's like a ode to January 6th right there. There it is. Federal prisoners without charge.
Can't wait to drink this now. Thanks, Chad.
Is it any
Gonna
good?
keep y'all in chains.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it is great.
That's good. That's good to hear. I mean, look, if you're going to put you're going to have a label like that, the wine better be actually good, right?
Yeah. It's
Either have
very good, thank
attractive
you.
packaging and crappy wine, or good wine and terrible packaging. So we went that direction here. We're only a few minutes away. Do we have the floor? Can we now show the floor and give you a picture of what it looks like right now? This
Looks
is
like a bunch of old people.
This is.
The senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso.
Yep. Here we go. Kamala.
The senator from West Virginia, Ms. Capito.
What are they going up to get like free
Ms.
Fig
Ernst.
Newtons? What's going on right now?
The senator from Montana, Mr. Daines.
He's kicked off of Twitter still. Is he still off Twitter? Do we know?
I think so. Let's see.
Yeah, he's
Daines.
off.
He is back on.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
Okay. So this is like the part where they all kind of like meander around each other, shake each other's hands. You get the big setup. There's so much formality and pomp and circumstance, and I can deal with some circumstance, but there's way too much pomp here.
Way too much pomp.
We're pomp heavy.
Who's wearing that yellow dress?
Is that Cinema? Cinema's usually
That's
like
a great dress.
It is Cinema we're hearing.
Yeah.
She's the only one dressed in any interesting fashion. Would you agree with this?
Yes,
Sarah?
absolutely. I completely agree. Everyone else very boring. Cinema, yes.
Yeah, she's the only one that stands out for the way she's dressed. Her and Corinne Jean-Pierre are the two people who spend millions of dollars on their outfits, it seems like.
Okay. I mean, all right. How do you know nobody else is wearing anything stylish and fancy?
I'm watching them. I'm looking at them.
You know, a lot of grays and
Wait,
blues.
there's a professor with a lab coat on standing next to Kevin McCarthy.
You know, and kudos to the Supreme Court justices for going all out in style right there. Those black robes, they never really go out of fashion.
Yeah.
quite
Anything
honestly.
on under those robes? Do we know?
And I'm telling you, if I was on the Supreme Court, you could guarantee that.
Good God, what I would pay to have Chad Prather on the Supreme Court of the United States.
You know how Clarence Thomas never says anything? I'd never shut up. We'd never quite get to that ruling because we'd never hear the argument.
And I feel like just some of your comments tonight made me think the oral arguments part of it would be much different. It would be mean something else.
Trust me.
Something very revolting. This is going to be an adventure.
You
boys
knew
and
it was
girls.
going to be,
No,
Stu.
I know. Every time we get together, and we've noticed this because we've done the power hours together. Yeah. All of them. I think you only missed one, which was we were very much missed, Chad. But these evenings can turn a little bizarre as you get later into them. And this time we will have nonstop content delivery from our bumbling president, who you just watched bumble his way through 10 clips. By the way, there's a YouTube playlist of all of the Hail to the Gaff moments. I think there's 30 of them or something right now. It's at youtube.com/Stu Does America. And the fact that it's happening, we get 30 of them in that short of a period of time, shows you we are constantly filled with more content in that particular segment. So who's coming in now? Who are we clapping for? This is a heck of a room. You believe this? You know, by the way, you'll see no one wearing masks. And I know this is an outdated point of commentary at this point because they just stopped and given up on this whole narrative. But like, they all are still making arguments that you should wear masks. They're all saying you should still do this. We're getting to a point where COVID-19 is too high, and none of them in their own lives actually do this. It's important for you to realize that.
Well, I'm sure you saw the groundbreaking new study that was released via the Daily Mail that said that the people that are still wearing masks, that based on the Cochrane studies that were done, based on 1 million people surveyed, it's the ugly people. The ugly people are still wearing the masks.
Yeah. And you know what? That sort of mask usage, I actually support.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of people in Congress who should wear masks.
You're anti-ugly people?
Well, you know, I think I'm not anti them. I think they should have their rights. We just shouldn't see them. They should be heard but not seen.
I have never seen Maxine Waters wear a mask. That's all I'm going to say. And if anybody deserves one, it's Maxine.
I feel like sometimes we're a little critical of people wearing masks when we should actually be encouraging it for some.
Yeah.
You know, and more like ski masks. Like, you know, we see your eyeballs. That's about it. That's all we need to see.
Actually, most people in Congress should have a mask.
Yes, I think that's.
I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat. I don't care.
No.
I want to give a shout out to Heather Drake, who said, "I'm literally only watching the State of the Union because of you guys. I feel like I literally live on your level." I'm sorry for that.
I literally thought she was going to say me by name.
Really?
It did happen.
No. She lives on our level, though. We do this so you don't have to.
It's quite a level.
You shouldn't want that.
And JP Hollister says MSNBC is ready to worship. I bet they are.
They are.
Boy, that's actually profound when you consider the CBS tweet, the now deleted CBS tweet regarding the Grammy performance of Sam Smith.
Yeah, this happened the other day. They did delete
Did we see our first mask?
Do we have one?
Is this a mask? Is that guy wearing a mask?
No, it's just a blue beard.
Those progressives. Wow.
Yeah. Sarah, you're the only person, well, maybe Chad does as well. Chad's a musician, but like I have no connection to pop culture in any way at this point in my life. I don't know who any of these people are in the Grammys. Did the worship thing have something to do with the song? Was it related to, like, was there a reason they said that other than the fact they wanted to worship the devil?
I mean, the song is called Unholy.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe they were being ironic.
They're playing on the holy thing.
Yeah. It's
Now, wasn't the Grammys were aired on CBS, right?
Yes.
So
but
they knew what was coming in terms of the production. They knew that it was going to be something emulating.
That's a great point.
Satanic worship.
That's a great point.
Because they get the pre-production notes and
They
all
have
of
to
this
practice.
stuff. So
Yeah, they have their-
knew what was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't
have
just
their
make that
rehearsals.
up on the fly.
They have their rehearsals. They knew what they were saying.
Yeah. So.
Do we have an ice request like mechanism during this broadcast? Like I need some
Ice.
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 Are
Can we get some
are
ice?
we talking about Homeland Security here? Or
no?
Are you trying to
like
get
the
me
actual
deported?
frozen water? Well, I mean, it's your people.
Would you tell everyone what you're drinking?
Yes, got a Moscow Mule going here. As you know, we're Russian spies. All people on the right are Russian plants with Russian propaganda. And we have it in this wonderful, stylish Philadelphia Eagles.
Do you remember that time period where everyone was throwing out their vodka to like stick it to Vladimir Putin?
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Especially because like half of the vodkas were Ukrainian.
Right.
And like it was like boycotting the.
Also, like you already bought it,
Yeah.
so you're just literally wasting your money for no reason. They already have your money.
And if you're that dumb, you need vodka. Like this is the thing you need more of.
Yeah.
This would help you through life. We promise.
Yeah, I'm drinking a product of Mexico here. So I'm giving homage to my good friends to the south.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The border.
Yeah. Well,
Did that come?
open border. And I'm curious to see what Joe Biden's going to say about, which by the way, we had on the border catered in. So, we have an open border with on the border.
Which I have some qualms with, I'll just say.
Qualms? Wait, explain your qualms with on the border.
That is the worst Tex-Mex restaurant
Oh,
of
no,
all
really?
time.
No, it's not. It's
Yes, it is.
Come on. Come on. We are a little better than that. And it's okay for us to be with the peasants. And eat like the common folk.
I just don't
Sarah,
like on the border.
you've already had a wine glass delivered to the stage.
I have,
Stu
and I
wants
appreciate
frozen water.
It's true.
Y'all really are demanding here.
We are.
Look at me. I brought a spread.
You did?
It's not even chilled.
How long do you think the speech is going to be, Chad?
It's going to be all night long, my
We
friend.
got a long one going.
Whether Joe's talking or not.
All right, there's more idiots walking in right now. Let's see which ones they are. We're seeing lots of fantastic clapping because everyone gets clapped for when they come in. And you know what one of the most amazing things about this whole evening is, as people are walking in, they're making their way down. The people who will go on Twitter and call each other, murderers, they all sit there and they get their pictures with each other and they sign each other's programs and they give each other hugs, and you just realize how fake this whole show is. This is just, it is
Who's the lady in
kabuki
the
theater.
sparkles?
That's a bright dress.
Okay, you like that one.
Yeah, I want to know who it is before I say I like it.
Well, wait a minute. I thought you were judging the outfit, not what's in the outfit.
Yeah, I do like the outfit.
Can we do a Sara Gonzales fashion review of all the politicians as they walk in?
The commentary no one was asking for.
Right.
No, it really is a kind of a World Wrestling Federation, WWE type atmosphere there, where everybody's lovey-dovey. They kind of put their partisan differences aside, and they'll duke it out. And one side will stand up and clap, while the other side stay seated, and then later they go have
They all go to dinner.
they go have some caviar and a little vodka at the Russian room.
I don't respect that.
That's what happens every day at Washington D.C.
I know.
That's how it works in the Beltway.
I know. I'm just saying I don't respect it.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to be divisive, you got to be committed to it.
Well, by the time they were doing the roll call in the election for Kevin McCarthy, by the 14th time, I mean, it looked like AOC and Matt Gaetz were pretty much buddy-buddy.
Oh, yeah. No,
They'd spent a lot of time in the same room together.
Yeah. I think there's too much of that right now. Like, to give you an example that might hurt you a little bit, Sarah, so I will bring it up. Ezekiel Elliott cheering on Lane Johnson on the Philadelphia Eagles and saying what a great player he is. Now, I love that, of course. The Empire State Building's lighting up in green and white for an Eagles victory. I love that. But, like, if I'm a Cowboys fan, if I'm a Giants fan, that's driving me crazy.
Yeah,
There's
it
too
is.
much of that.
Thanks for bringing that up, Stu.
Yeah.
reference, both from New York City and Ezekiel Elliott. Again, all people that are on drugs.
Well, maybe a little bit. All right, we're going to wrap it up here for the pre-show portion of Blaze TV. Here's the State of the Union roast. If you hang tight for just a minute, we're going to grab our popcorn. We don't have any popcorn, but we have a lot of alcohol. We're going to bring it over a few weeks. Wait, where's the first of all, popcorn and ice. Now we need two things: popcorn and ice, not together, separate. We're going to grab all of our stuff, bring it over here to the giant TV just a couple of feet away from us, and watch and mock along with all of you for Joe Biden's 2023 State of the Union. If you haven't yet, be sure to head over to our social media channels, grab your copy of the Blaze TV State of the Union Roast bingo card. You can play along with us at home tonight, and make sure you subscribe at blazetv.com/SOTU. The code is SOTU to save $20 if you're on YouTube. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to all of these wonderful people's channels. It's mine as well, and we would love that. We will see you in a minute. We're going to get reshuffled and then watch this idiot say a bunch of dumb things.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Biden's like,
Hey, who the hell are you?
All right, we're looking at the floor here as everyone's waddling in.
They've been clapping for approximately 100 years.
Yes, this is the most exercise any of these people have had in months. Yes, they will. By the way, you're watching BlazeTV coverage of the State of the Union with Joe Biden. The fabulous panel we have here: Sara Gonzales, Prather, Gavin McInnes, Alex Stein, Primetime 99.
Is that Bono?
Yeah. Bono and like some boxing journalist.
Those are some of Biden's guests.
This is exciting. This really reminds you that men have nipples.
What?
I'm tingling all over.
Look at this guy. I mean, he's 1,000 years old. I mean, it's a miracle of modern science this man is standing there right now. It's incredible. This man saw the Civil War. He saw part of the late Revolutionary period.
This standing
and
ovation
here
is
he
longer
is,
than
President.
Brendan Fraser in The Whale.
The woman in the lab coat? That's this whole thing's sponsored by Pfizer.
Another thing they haven't.
Members of Congress, I have the high privilege and distinct honor to present to you the President of the United States.
Woo!
Clapping.
Woo! More clapping.
Do they have like first responders there waiting for something to happen?
Do they have a net there to
Mr.
catch him if he
Speaker.
falls over?
Do they have a net outside the building? Thank you. You can smile.
No. Oh, are they? Do they have the security fences up?
Thank you.
Oh. So borders work.
Thank you. Yeah. Please. Mr. Speaker,
I was hoping you just
Madam
stand there.
Vice President,
I'm on Adderall.
our First Lady and Second Gentleman, good to see you guys up there. Members of Congress.
The second
Joe
gentleman.
Biden is for once not wearing a curtain.
That's Paul Pelosi
Oh,
right
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
The guy who just got.
Yes.
And the conspiracy with that, have you seen the footage where it looks like the door is being opened by a third person?
Yeah.
The maid.
Don't even get me started, Stu.
I'm
Don't get me
shocked
started on
you're
Paul
on this.
Pelosi.
Well, he's wearing a hat to hide his dent.
Court order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week. I have to stay home.
Next week, it's this weekend.
Gotta work
It's this
something out
weekend.
here.
I was wondering if we
Members
get
of
an
Congress,
going off
Super
leaders
Bowl.
of our military,
Oh,
Chief
boy.
Justice, Associate Justice, and retired Justice of the Supreme Court, and to you, my fellow Americans. You know, I start tonight by congratulating the 118th Congress and the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy.
Wow, look at that bipartisanship right there.
Hey, is it me or did Biden turn around like he was genuinely his friend though?
Yes.
Is that, I mean, didn't it look like that was genuine? I mean, I could
Probably
be-
because he is.
Exactly, but it seemed genuine.
Only took him about 173 votes to get that gig.
Speaker, I don't want to ruin your reputation, but I look forward to working with you.
Oh,
We got a
I
joke.
want to congratulate the new leader of the
your
House
joke.
Democrats, the first African-American minority leader in history, Hakeem Jeffries.
There you go.
The way he
Everyone's
says
standing.
Hakeem, though, is so funny.
Except the
Hakeem.
Supreme
Hakeem.
Court members.
And the inflection.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, he seems dubious.
So arrogant.
I know, he's a
He's
Barack
so
Obama
arrogant.
clone.
He won in spite of the fact I campaigned for him.
Another great
to the
joke.
longest serving
Wait, that's on
leader
the
in
bingo
history
card.
of the United
Joke falls
States
flat.
Joke
Senate,
falls flat.
Mitch McConnell. Where are you, Mitch?
Joke falls flat. Far right column, second down. Joe Biden has to help. Can we check that one off? I mean, she did do the.
Congratulations to Chuck Schumer, another, another term as Senate Minority Leader.
Good job. You're doing.
You know, I think you, only this time you have a slightly bigger majority, Mr. Leader, and you're the majority leader. About that much bigger? Yeah. Well, I tell you what. I want to give special recognition to someone who I think is going to be considered the greatest speaker in the history of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, come on.
Look at this clapping.
The greatest speaker in the history of the House.
Sarah,
She
what's
just
going
got
on
off
in
of
Nancy
smearing
Pelosi's
off
head?
one.
Nancy Pelosi, thank you. Thank
It's
you.
just Hollywood for ugly
The
people.
story of America is a story of progress and resilience,
So true.
of always moving forward, of never, ever giving up. It's a story unique among all nations. We're the only country that has emerged from every crisis we've ever entered stronger than we got into it. Look, folks, that's what we're doing again. 2 years ago, the economy was reeling. I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room,
shut it down.
12 million new jobs. More jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years.
Oh, God.
Tends to happen when you shut everything
You
down.
let them out of their homes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You literally shut
2
all the
years
businesses
ago,
down.
1.5% economic growth is nothing to brag about.
And 2 years ago, COVID had shut down, our businesses were closed, our schools were robbed of so much, and today, COVID no longer controls our lives. And 2 years ago, democracy faced its greatest threat to the Civil War, and today, though bruised, our democracy remains unbowed and unbroken.
So why are...
We're doing the thing where we stand already.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the half seat.
Has anyone even sat yet?
Is mentioned January 6th? I'm surprised that's not on
As
here.
we gather here tonight,
To say we made it
we're writing
past
the next chapter in the great American story, a story of progress and resilience. When world leaders ask me to define America, and they do, believe it or not.
No, they don't.
I say I can define it in one word, and I mean this.
Xing Ping calls them up,
possibilities.
asks them to define.
We don't think anything is beyond our capacity.
True,
Possibility. You know, we're often told that Democrats and Republicans can't work together. But over the past 2 years, we've proved the cynics and naysayers wrong.
Have you?
Yes, we disagreed plenty. And yes, there were times when Democrats went alone. But time and again, Democrats and Republicans came together to defend a stronger and safer Europe. Came together to pass once-in-a-generation infrastructure law. Building bridges connecting our nation and our people.
What?
We came together to pass the most significant law ever.
Spain is back on
helping
the map.
expose the toxic burn pits. And in fact,
the burn pits.
How is burn pits not on the bingo card?
Burn
The
pits.
most significant law ever.
You know, but the burn
Those
pits.
damn burn pits.
Because the burn pits, I mean, it's just
Here he
important.
goes. Here he goes.
Let's see. Well, I'm just saying the burn pits just shows you how dumb it is. All those guys had cancer.
In
They
fact,
knew that the people were getting cancer
I
from
signed
it.
over 300
Well, he's going to cure cancer, so don't worry about
bipartisan
that.
pieces of legislation since becoming president. From reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act,
Authorizer?
the Electoral Count Reform Act, the Respect for Marriage Act that protects the right to marry the person you love. And to my Republican friends, if we could work together the last Congress, there's no reason we can't work together and find consensus on important things
Did
in
he just
this
say they
Congress
worked
as well.
together last Congress?
Yeah, I don't know.
On
Did
what?
you say the MAGA Republicans are the biggest threat to our nation?
But
What?
Sarah, I
They
guess
work
he
together.
thinks the omnibus bill, I'm guessing, is that what he thinks that they
Oh,
work
good,
together?
spending more.
I
Great.
know.
I'm glad that they can find common ground
You
on
all are
that.
as informed as I am, but I think the people sent us a clear message. Fighting for the sake of fighting. Power for the sake of
Who
power.
is this
conflict.
guy? If you would have governed like this at all, then some of this stuff could
That's
have been
always
done.
been my
Well,
vision
Stu,
of our
I don't think he's
country,
doing
and
that
I
bad
know
of a
it's
job.
yours.
I mean, I know he sucks as the
Restore the
president,
soul
but
of
his
this nation, to
speech is
rebuild the
he's high on
backbone.
Whatever you
Adderall.
injected into his
Yeah.
ass, keep doing that.
Yeah, it's
And
working.
unite the country. We've
He's
been
like
sent here to
Seabiscuit.
finish
Guys,
the
this is
job.
minute
in my
What did
three.
opinion.
JFK say? I don't care if it's
Decades,
horse
the middle
piss. It
class has
works.
been hollowed
Keep doing
out.
it.
Give him
More
some
than-
time for the
and
drugs
not
to
no
wear
one
off. We're
administration
just starting
for
here.
a long time. Too many good-paying manufacturing jobs move overseas.
That's your
Factories
fault.
closed down. Once thriving cities and towns that many of you represent became shadows of what they used to be. And along the way, something else we lost. Pride,
Your
our sense of
keys.
self-worth. I ran for president to fundamentally change things, to make sure our economy works for everyone.
Yeah, we know.
So we can all feel that pride in what we do.
And we're
To build
living
an
here
economy
in
from the bottom up and the
Allentown.
middle out, not from the top down. Because when
looks
the
like a
middle
bag.
class does well, the poor have a ladder up, and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well.
What? You can't buy eggs, dude.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's doing horrible.
What are you talking about?
I paid $3.89
I know a
yesterday
lot
for
of you always
unleaded.
kid me for always quoting my dad, but my dad used to say, Joey, a
No one
job's
kids you for
about
that.
a lot more than a paycheck.
No one
He
does.
really would say this.
What do we
It's
say?
about a lot
really
more
would.
than a paycheck.
Not a joke.
It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay.
You can
And mean it.
transition your sex at any
Folks,
age.
And he would hold the head like
You
that
don't
and
call your
sniff
kid
the
the
hair
honey.
as he
That's
said
your
it.
wife, Maura.
We're
then you
not
sniff
finished
'em.
yet by any stretch of the imagination, but
About sniffing
unemployment
your
rate
kids
is
with pride.
3.4%, a 50-year low.
Yeah.
Near record. Near record unemployment.
I don't even know. Not inflation. What? I don't even know.
Near record unemployment for black and Hispanic workers.
There it is.
You said that
Already
earlier.
created, your help, 800,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs, the fastest growth in 40 years.
Yeah, but he says that he shuts down all the pipelines. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. That's our best industry is oil and
Where
gas.
is it written that America can't lead the world in manufacturing? And I don't know where that's written. For too many decades, we imported projects and exported jobs.
The number 2 for years.
Now, thanks to what you've all done, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs.
But is that for the first time ever? Is that what he's implying?
The Rock said it couldn't be done.
Inflation has been a global problem because the pandemic disrupted our supply chains.
It's a global
and
problem.
Putin's unfair and brutal war in Ukraine disrupted energy supplies as well as food supplies, blocking all that grain in Ukraine.
Grain in
Ukraine. Every country on earth right now.
Put that on the shirt,
But we have more to
He must have a
do.
teleprompter that says turn the page now.
Inflation is coming
And he
down.
just turns the page on a
Here
thing
at
he's
home,
not even
gas
looking
prices
at.
are
It's a lot
down
of pages.
$1.50
What a
from their
weird
peak.
ritual.
Food inflation is coming down. Not fast enough, but coming down. Inflation has fallen every month.
The price
For
of
the last
eggs
6
are up
months.
at 10,000%. What is he
It's gone
mumbling
up.
about? Well, that didn't even make
Additionally,
sense.
over the last 2 years,
Inflation was
a
what,
record
9%?
10 million
at the peak?
Americans applied to start new businesses.
On the low
10
side.
million.
Yeah, but that's not even accurate. It's much higher than that.
And by the
They
way,
can trick the inflation number, so it doesn't seem as bad.
every time someone starts a small business is an act of hope. And Madam Vice President, I want to thank
So
you
get rid of all the red
for
tape
leading
then.
that effort to ensure that small businesses have access to capital.
Well, that's what she's been doing.
And the
Thank you,
historic
President
laws
Harris.
we enacted that are going to just come into being. Standing here last year, I shared with you a story of American genius and possibilities. Semiconductors.
Yeah.
Small computer chips
Oh,
the
do the
size of a
nano chip thing
fingerprint
again.
that power everything, from cell phones to automobiles and so much more. These chips were invented in America. Let's get that straight. They were invented in America.
Okay.
We used to make 40% of the world's chips.
And then you tax
That'd be funny
everybody.
if he
Last
said,
several
by
decades, we
straight
lost our
white
edge.
males.
10%. We all
That would
saw
be the
what
truth.
happened during the pandemic when chip factories shut down overseas. Today's automobiles need 3,000 chips, each of those automobiles.
And that's why they suck. That's why they break
But American automobiles couldn't make enough cars because there weren't enough chips. Car prices went up, people got laid off. So did everything from
Yeah, I
refrigerators
Stu
remember
knows
this.
about
Yeah.
the car problem.
Yeah, 14
The car
months to get my
shortage.
car delivered. I do remember that.
That's why.
Are you triggered right
That's
now?
why
Yes.
we're going
Why
to
we
protect
came together.
Taiwan, because the
That's
chips are
why
made in
the
Taiwan.
chips and
And if China
science
thinks they're going to invade Taiwan, they got another thing coming.
Let's shoot down all the balloons.
Yeah.
Get a stuffed animal.
Taiwan's our turf.
Stuffed
In your
animal
face,
made
China.
in China too.
I just don't get why Kamala Harris is dressed like a UPS driver. Or
I know
what
I've
is
been
it, FedEx?
criticized
Which
for
one's
saying this,
brown?
but I'm not
What's
changing
brown?
my view.
UPS.
UPS.
We're going to make sure the supply chain for America.
You want me to tell you what she can do for
begins
you?
in America.
I know.
The supply chain begins in America.
Black guy looks kind of
We've
sad.
already created.
Is that Farrakhan?
They all sold their soul, every person in there.
We've already created 800,000 new manufacturing jobs without this law, before the law kicks in. With this new law, we're going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs across the country. And I mean all across the country. Throughout not just the coast, but through the middle of the country
though?
as well.
That's the issue.
That's going to come from companies that have announced more than $300 billion in investment in American manufacturing over the next few years.
That's almost what we're giving to Ukraine.
Outside of Columbus, Ohio, Intel is building semiconductor factories on 1,000 acres, literally a field of dreams. It's going to create 10,000 jobs, that one investment.
Literally a field of dreams.
7,000
Why are we
construction
building
jobs.
a field of dreams?
3,000 jobs in those factories once
Is that
they're
for, like,
finished.
dead
They
baseball
call them
players?
factories.
Ray Liotta's coming
Jobs
back.
paying an average of $130,000 a year.
Too soon.
And many do not require a
We've
college
lost Ray.
degree.
From Hannibal Mount. How's that cigar? Is it good?
They're pretty good.
Jobs.
Somebody said, could the panel be quiet? I don't think you know what this show's all about.
Because we work together, these jobs where people don't have to leave home to search for opportunity.
Turn the page.
It's just getting started.
Well, you haven't looked down yet.
Think about the new homes, the small businesses, the medium-sized businesses. So much more is going to be needed to support those 3,000 permanent jobs and the factories that are going to be built. Talk to mayors and governors, Democrats and Republicans, and they'll tell you what this means for their communities. We're seeing these field of dreams transform to the heartland.
Literally.
But to maintain the strongest economy in the world, we need the best infrastructure in the world.
Oh, boy.
Not more infrastructure spending. Good God! How many commas are we up to from this guy?
As you know, everything is infrastructure.
Everything is.
We used to be #1 in the world in infrastructure.
Oh, man.
We've sunk to 13th in the world.
Oh, gosh,
United
darn it.
States of America. 13th.
Yelling.
We haven't yelled.
But now we're coming back.
Yeah. Are we supposed to be sharing every time we find one?
bipartisan infrastructure law.
'Cause I'm kinda
the
keeping mine
largest
to
investment in infrastructure since President Eisenhower's interstate highway system.
Who's President Eisenhower?
Folks,
is he from Dr. Zeus?
Who's the guy clapping?
Already we funded over 20,000 projects, including major airports from Boston to Atlanta to Portland. Projects that are going to put thousands of people to work rebuilding our highways, our bridges, our railroads, our tunnels, ports, airports, clean water, high-speed internet, all across America.
Bragging about giving
Urban,
people clean
rural,
water.
tribal.
I think you get to those field of dreams with the China Belt Road, and they're
We're just
full of
getting
lithium.
started.
No, Joe, you're done.
Yeah, you're 81.
And I mean this sincerely. I want to thank my Republican friends who voted for the law. And my Republican friends who voted against it as well.
I want all of them out of office.
But I'm still, I still get asked to fund the projects in those districts as well. But don't worry. I promised I'd be a president for all Americans. We'll fund these projects.
Is that
And I'll see you at the
starting now.
groundbreaking.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the big creepy smile. It's out.
Look,
Look.
this law, this law will further unite all of America. Projects like Brent Spent Bridge in Kentucky over the Ohio River.
what?
Bread spent
Built 60 years ago.
Bread?
Badly needed repairs. One of the nation's most
Bread
congested
sprint?
freight routes,
What is
carrying
bread
$2
sprint?
billion worth of freight every single day across the Ohio River.
We used to throw
And
bread
folks,
to the ducks.
We've been talking about fixing it for
Bread
decades.
spread.
But we're really finally going to get it done.
Is he?
I went there last month with Democrats and Republicans and from both states to deliver a commitment of $1.6 billion for this project.
He's going to unite us by building a
While I was
actual
there,
bridge.
Over there.
Literally uniting us.
Literally.
Walk across the
Sarah.
river.
Right.
Who's here tonight? I don't know where Sarah is. Is she up in the box?
Oh,
I
she's
don't know.
probably
Where's
dead.
Doug?
Oh,
Sarah, how are you?
Is Doug here?
Thank God.
Sarah, for 30 years.
Okay, that's a good jacket.
For 30 years,
TJ Maxx.
I learned, she told
Totally
me
off
she's
the
been a
rack.
proud member of the Iron Workers Local 44, known as
A lot of iron workers in the building.
known as the
Stop
Cowboys
with the
in
standing
sky.
ovations. It's one a minute.
The folks who built Cincinnati's skyline. Sarah said she can't wait to be 10 stories above the Ohio River building that new bridge. God bless her. That's pride.
Is
And
Sarah
that's what
even
we're also
alive?
building. We're building back pride.
That's her daughter.
that the right
standing
Sarah?
up.
We're also replacing poisonous lead pipes that go into 10 million homes in America.
That's such a 10 million people are drinking that lead water.
400,000 school and child care centers.
Do we get a notification if that's us?
I'd like to know if we're
Aren't you
drinking some
looking
of that
for
Is
water.
it on the app?
Instead of having permanent damage to their brains.
Zone.
Millions of you are drinking contaminated water. You don't know
We're
what's
making
on.
sure,
They're like the seals at SeaWorld.
we're making
Stand up and
sure
clap.
that every community in America has access to affordable high-speed internet. No parent should have to drive by McDonald's parking lot to
That's
help
not a
them do their
thing,
homework
Joe.
online with their kids.
That doesn't happen.
Which thousands were doing across the country.
No.
And when we do these projects,
Never seen that at McDonald's.
and again, I get criticized for this, but I make no excuses for it.
McDonald's so my
We're
baby
going
can
to
do
buy
it.
American.
I've seen a lot of help
Buy
on signs.
Folks,
We just like McDonald's. That's why we're good.
Taking their
That's it.
kids to McDonald's.
I've seen parents drive their kids to McDonald's.
and it's totally,
We're taking a hamburger.
it's totally consistent with international trade rules.
Oh, I like that little tie. That's fine.
Buy America has been the law since 1933.
Joe Biden does dress
For
well.
too long,
I mean, I
past
think-
administrations,
because
Democrat and Republican.
I
Want
know,
to get
Sarah, but he
around
does
it.
look presidential.
Not
He looks
anymore.
Nice. He looks nice.
Tonight, I'm announcing new standards require
Wait a minute.
all construction materials used in federal infrastructure projects to be made in America.
That's not true.
I mean, you really, if you think about a lot of the
Made in
talking
America.
points are almost conservative talking
They're
points.
Trump talking points.
Two words, made in America.
Bring
He's like American jobs, American manufacturing.
Just
but
because you're going to
all
finally
lumber,
unload the ships off the
Glass,
Pacific Ocean doesn't mean it's
drywall,
made in
fiber optic
America.
cable. And I might watch American roads, bridges, American highways are going to be made with American products as well. Folks,
So
Where
we're
you're
going to
going,
spend,
you
we're
don't
going to spend
need
3
roads.
times as much.
Places that have
Congratulations,
been
America.
forgotten. So many of you listening to me tonight.
Yeah, and
I know you feel it.
Here we go.
So many of you felt like you've just simply
are we
been
gonna get the
forgotten.
whisper?
Heartfelt.
Amid the economic upheaval of the past 4 decades,
Wait, wow.
too many people
many.
have been left behind and treated like they're invisible.
Yeah.
Maybe that's you watching from home.
Yeah. I see dead people.
Remember the jobs that went away. You remember them, don't you?
Yeah.
Folks
like
at
the
home
kid from
remember.
Deliverance.
Amen.
You wonder whether the past even exists anymore
Does the past
for your
exist?
children to get ahead without having to move away. Well, that's why I get that.
Okay.
That's why we're building an economy where no one's left behind.
Oh,
Jobs
that's
are coming
original.
back.
No child left
No
Pride is
kid.
coming
That's
back.
George W. Bush talking points.
Because choices we made in the last several years. You know, this is, in my view, a blue-collar blueprint to rebuild America and make a real difference in your lives at home.
Oh, my God.
For example-
How disingenuous is this?
Stand up.
Too many of
Easy,
you
blue collar,
Yeah.
give me a break.
lay in bed at night like my dad did.
Your dad used to
Staring
lay
at
in
the
bed.
ceiling, wondering what in God's names happens.
How do you know,
If
Joe?
your spouse gets cancer,
Oh, here comes the
or your
cured cancer
child
thing
gets
again.
deadly ill, or something happens to you. What are you going to get money to pay for those medical bills?
No, because
You're
of
going to have to
you.
sell the house or try to get a second mortgage on it.
Obamacare solved all
I
this.
get it. I
Still-
get it. With the Inflation Reduction Act that I signed into law,
Oh, God.
we're taking on powerful interests to bring healthcare costs down
And solar panels.
so you can sleep better at night
Under solar
with more
panels.
security. You know, we pay more for prescription drugs than any nation in the world.
Because you
Back
let
to
him
your
price
point.
He
gouge
hasn't
us.
done
We
anything
pay
to that.
more for
Wasn't
prescription
Obamacare
drugs
supposed to
than
solve
any
this?
Supposed to solve
major
that.
nation on
He
earth.
hasn't fixed that.
No.
Not even
example,
close.
We also
1
invented
in
them
10
all.
Americans has diabetes. Many of you in this chamber do,
Crap.
and in the audience. But
Diabetes.
every day, millions need insulin to control their diabetes
Wilford Brimley.
so they can literally stay alive.
Beat us.
Insulin's been around for over 100 years. The guy who invented it didn't even patent it because he wanted it to be available for everyone. It cost the drug companies
Didn't you meet him?
roughly $10 a vial. to make
They were,
Penicillin
in,
guy.
they were in elementary school
packaging
together.
and all, you may get
We
up
were
to
best friends.
$13. But Big Pharma has been unfairly charging people hundreds of dollars.
This is the
$400
part
to
where they hate Big
$500
Pharma.
a month.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
other times
Making
they tell us they have to
record
take all their
profits.
drugs.
Yes.
But this is
Not
the
anymore.
We're going to mandate
Not
that you take
anymore.
their
Oh, sit down.
I mean, diabetes medicine should never have been that high to start with. I mean, it's like we're cheering for stuff that are just basic needs that we should be affording.
All right, socialists.
I'm happy that Paul can stand up.
Dude, Paul Pelosi's he's an MVP
I thought
in
Paul
this whole thing.
Pelosi was like a boxing journalist from the 20s.
I thought he was in better shape.
Some guy named Mickey Cochran.
Yeah, one of those guys that
coming to fruition.
knew John
We said we were
Dempsey.
doing this, and we said we passed a law to do it.
Cut me.
But people didn't know because the law didn't take effect until January 1 of this year. We capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors on Medicare.
We arbitrarily
seniors on
priced
Medicare.
drugs.
Didn't Trump
People are just finding
cut
out.
costs for diabetes medication and Biden reversed
I'm
it?
sure you're getting the same calls I'm
Came
getting.
in
Yeah.
reverse it.
Look, there are millions of other Americans who do not or are not on Medicare.
Was he just surprised like a bird or something? What
200,000 young
happened there?
people with type 1 diabetes need this insulin to stay
Still
alive.
talking about diabetes.
Let's finish the
The
job
Adderall
this time.
is starting
Let's
to
cap
wear
the cost of
thin.
this for everybody at $35.
It's like Blade Runner in the rain where the robots start to fade.
You check Joe Biden cured cancer.com if you want to know if he's cured cancer yet. I'm sure we'll get to that soon.
The Big Pharma's still going to do very well, I promise you all.
See, what?
I promise you.
Yeah,
they'll
that's
do
what I'm
very
saying, but
well.
he's saying that to the conservatives. Like
This
he
law
wants to appeal to
law
them.
also caps and won't even go into effect until 2025.
So we're fucked till
Costs,
then? It's just- I
out-of-pocket
mean-
drug costs for seniors on Medicare at a maximum of $2,000 a year. You don't have to pay more than $2,000 a year, no matter how much
You
your
haven't turned a
drug costs
page in a
are.
while there, Joe.
Because you know why? You all know it.
There's a lot of pages to
Many
go.
of you, like many in my family, have cancer.
Oh, this is baseball card
You know the
collection?
drugs
Is that
can
what
range from 10, 11, 14,
Kareem's
$15,000
binder.
for the cancer drugs.
Full of women.
If drug prices rise faster than inflation, drug companies are going to have to pay Medicare
children.
back the difference. We're finally
Whatever you said.
We're finally giving Medicare the power to negotiate drug prices. Bringing down prescription drug costs doesn't just save seniors money. It cuts the federal deficit
Oh, that's the whisper
by
right there.
billions of
That's
dollars.
the whisper.
By hundreds of billions of dollars.
gonna dance again.
Because these prescription drugs
I like this Mexican
are
werewolf
drugs
clapping his
purchased
cane over there.
by Medicare to keep their commitment to the seniors.
Oh.
Well, guess
That's
what?
a good sentence.
Instead
Never
of
mind,
paying
that all
$400 or
makes sense.
$500 a month, you're paying $15. That's a lot of savings for the federal government. And by the way, why would we want that?
I don't know.
Now, some members here are threatening, and I know it's not an official party position, so I'm not going to exaggerate.
He's having a conversation in his head again.
Okay.
He's threatening to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act.
Uh-huh.
As my coach,
Inflation
100% we should.
it's okay. That's fair. As my football coach
There's
used
Chip
to say,
Roy.
lots of luck in your senior
He's
year.
like, yes, he's standing up.
I was a
Make
football
no
star.
mistake.
I got a
Uh-oh,
scholarship.
yelling.
If
to
you try
Yale.
anything to
played
raise the
flanker back.
cost of prescription drugs, I will
what?
veto it.
Of what?
Pernicious drugs.
Pernicious what?
Pernicious drugs.
Look, I'm pleased to say that more Americans have health insurance now than ever in history. A record 16 million people are enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. And
Here we go.
thanks to the law I signed last year, saving millions are saving $800 a year on their premiums. And by the way, that law was written and the benefit expires in 2025. So my plea to some of you, at least in this audience, let's finish the job and make these savings permanent. Expand coverage
But
of Medicaid.
why did they have to pass the law last year if Obamacare was so great?
Right. That was supposed to solve all these problems.
They don't
Right.
know.
This whole stuttering thing,
Look.
too, that you were talking about earlier, like, they're trying to
Inflation
make him
Reduction Act is
disabled.
also
So if
the
you
most
mock
significant
him
investment
for
ever.
being a
Yes.
geriatric, then
Right.
you're mocking a handicap.
Right, exactly.
And it's like the King's Speech. Like, he's really
Lower
smart.
utility
He just
bill.
has a cute little
Creating American
verb
jobs.
Yes.
problem.
Leading the world to a clean
Verbiage.
energy future. I visited the devastating aftermath of record floods, droughts, storms, and wildfires from Arizona to New Mexico to all the way up to the Canadian border. More timber has been burned, as I've observed from helicopters, than the entire state of
You were in
Missouri.
the helicopters?
What?
And we don't have global warming?
put the
Not
fire
a
out.
problem.
Wait, you think
In
global,
addition to
what do you
emergency
think global
recovery,
warming is?
I've
From
fought
Puerto Rico
more
to
fires
Florida,
in North America.
we're rebuilding for the
just
long
fire.
term.
I saw hot
New electric
things.
grids that are able to weather
From
major
a
storms and
plane.
not prevent those forest fires. Roads and water systems withstand the next big flood. Clean energy to cut pollution and create jobs in communities
Fires were
often left
green
behind.
problem, by the way, there.
We're going to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations installed that will cost the country by tens of thousands of IBW workers.
ran by fossil fuel.
And
Censored myself.
we're helping families save more than $1,000 a year with tax credits to purchase electric vehicles and efficient
Say it.
appliances, energy efficient appliances. Historic conservation efforts to be responsible stewards of our land. Let's face reality.
We need solar
The climate
dishwashers.
crisis doesn't care if you're in a red or blue
Take
state.
care of the land. I saw a
It's an
tear
existential
falling
threat.
from Elizabeth Warren's eye.
We have an
rid of your
obligation,
gas
not to
stoves.
ourselves, but to our children and grandchildren to confront it.
I call her.
I'm proud of how America at last is stepping up to the challenge. We're still going to need oil and gas for a while. But guess what? No, we do.
No, I'm not a joke.
But there's so much
Not
more
kidding.
to do.
Don't calm
We got to
down.
finish the job. And we pay for these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay
Wealthiest
their
and
fair
biggest?
share.
Oh, yeah.
They
Just begin.
haven't been already.
No.
That's the cowboy hat trick in the middle there.
Yeah, who is that?
Look, I'm a capitalist.
Oh,
I'm a
yes.
capitalist, but pay your fair share. I think a lot of you at home A lot of you at home agree with me and many people that you know. The tax system is not fair.
Correct. We're paying too much money.
Yes. What is this? All of his talking points are conservative talking points. I mean, literally.
He means none of it, of course.
The idea that in 2020, 55 of the largest corporations in
this is a
America,
lie.
Fortune 500,
You've been lying about
paid
this. It's been
$40
debunked
billion
100
in
times
profits
already.
and paid
Blatant
zero
lie.
in
Where's the
federal
blatant
taxes?
lie on the bingo card?
Zero.
You know this isn't
Folks,
true.
It's simply not fair.
It's also not true.
But now, because of the law I signed, billion-dollar companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. God love them.
But Stu, why do they say that? Because they get enough rebates?
Just like the
That's
turkey
less than a nurse
How can they
pays.
even say that stuff?
Where is that turkey?
And let me be crystal clear. I said at the very beginning, under my plans,
Nothing
as long
you
as
say
I'm
is
president,
crystal clear.
nobody
It's got
earning less
14
than
extra vowels.
$400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
It's not true either. You know it's not true.
Well, let's finish the job.
Does he know these
There's
are
more to
lies,
do.
though? That's the million-dollar question.
No.
I don't know.
I don't
We
think
have
he
to
does.
reward work,
He's just
not
reading
just
words.
wealth.
Okay, does the scriptwriter know
Pass
it's a
my
lie?
proposal
Yes.
for the billionaire minimum tax.
I want to hear the speech come
You know,
from the person who writes those
there's
tweets.
1,000
It's the same person
billionaires
that's
in America.
Kareem
It's
Jean
up from about
Perrine's
600
freaking
at the beginning.
notebook. Is the
Kareem
same one that-
Jean-Pierre.
No
Whatever, you know
billionaire
what I'm talking about.
should be paying a lower tax rate than the
KJP.
teacher and firefighter.
KJP.
Jean-Pierre.
That
I
binder
mean it.
goes by the same
Think about it.
binder as hers.
They don't.
And that is whoever's in charge putting that binder together.
I
Lies.
Squad, I can see
yeah,
it.
hold
Squad
on.
is Pomp.
Does that count as a publicity stunt? Probably
The
not.
squad's pretty far back. They're the
No, you
nosebleeds.
aren't
They're
enthusiastic about
They're
that,
like the
but think
bad
about it.
girls.
I
the
saw the
mean
light
girls. They
shining
gotta
off Ayanna's head.
Have you noticed Big Oil just reported its profits, record profits? Last year they made $200 billion.
Good for them.
In the
Deserve
midst
it.
of a global
How
energy
did
crisis.
Pfizer do
They
that?
deserve it.
Pretty good.
I think it's outrageous.
Oh, did he just call himself a
They
capitalist?
invested too little of that profit to increase domestic
He's maintaining
production.
that.
And when I talk to a couple of them, they say, we're afraid you're going to shut down all the oil wells and all the oil refineries.
Yeah, you
We're
did.
worried. Why
Yeah,
should
we're
we
very
invest?
worried.
Compared to Trump?
I said, we're going to need oil for at least another decade.
Oh, good.
Oh,
did you?
Time to invest then.
Yeah.
Time to invest.
We might need it for
We're
10
going
more
to need
years.
production.
Before planes are
If
powered
they
by
had in
cough
fact
drops.
invested in production to keep gas prices down. Instead, they used the record profits to buy back their own stock, rewarding their CEOs and shareholders.
Good. for them.
Corporations ought to do the right thing. That's why I propose we quadruple the tax on corporate stock buybacks and encourage long-term investments.
This is like.
Corporations should do the right thing.
They'll
That's why I
still make
propose we
considerable
force them to
profit.
do what we want them
But
to.
it doesn't matter. Even if they get more tax dollars, you're going to give it to the Ukraine.
Let's finish
It
the
doesn't
job
matter.
and close
It's
the
like-
loopholes to allow very wealthy to avoid
Wait a minute, he
paying their
could be
taxes.
talking about
Instead
roads
of
in the
cutting
Ukraine.
number of oil
Yeah,
wells.
he could be talking about Ukrainian
I just
healthcare right
signed a
now.
law to
This may not even
reduce
apply to America. We don't know.
$114
In
billion
Ukraine, there's a
by
pothole every
cracking
13
down on
feet.
wealthy tax cheats.
Destroys
wanna know.
tanks. It destroys our
That's being
Hummers.
fiscally responsible.
Fiscally
You're not
responsible.
talking about being
my
fiscally
God.
responsible. Okay.
Omnibus bill.
Nobody's
The
done
last
that.
2 years,
Anybody, either
No.
my
side.
administration has cut the deficit by more than $1.7 trillion.
Oh, he's almost.
He's about to say
The
billion.
largest deficit reduction in American history.
I
Under
wonder
the
if when
previous
Paul Pelosi
administration-
sees that gavel,
You
he gets the
read
shit.
my mind.
I felt it.
Oh, you really
It might get
did.
hard.
Thank
No
you.
president added more
I
to
was
the
like,
national
oh,
debt.
crap.
It felt like
He's
it
got
was
David
94 years
DePape
for
on
my
the phone right now saying, hey, bro.
Nearly 25% of the entire national debt that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone.
Oh, that's blame
month.
Trump. Blame Trump.
They're the facts. Check it out.
You know, I'm surprised
Check it out,
I'm
Jack.
surprised you hadn't blamed Trump.
check it
more.
out.
Added,
Check
what,
it out.
$8 trillion to the deficit.
Check
And he's
it out.
talking
How did
about other
Congress
people
respond to
spending
that
money?
debt? They did the right thing. They lifted the debt ceiling 3 times without preconditions or crisis. They paid the
That's
debt
the right
bill.
thing. That's the
Nobody
right thing.
cares about the
An
debt.
economic disaster in the country.
Has that stopped the debt from
Tonight, I'm
growing?
asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States of America will never, ever be questioned. So some of my Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get
I
it.
want their names.
Unless I agree to their economic plans.
Do you accuse your friends of
All
taking
of you
the
at
economy
home
hostage?
should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority.
No, tons of people are saying that.
I don't like that.
Should be talking about that, but they are not.
Anybody who doubts it,
Liar.
contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of
He's
the
not
proposal.
bad at handling
Hit him with a
heckling.
cane.
That means Congress doesn't vote.
This is getting very British. We're in like the House of
glad.
Commons.
I can't wait for
Bang on the
that.
table. Turn that guy with the toupee
Damn,
loose.
Mr.
I'm ready
Speaker,
for the
I would
fisticuffs.
like to
means
He
if
gets more energetic when
Congress
they
doesn't keep
do
the
them.
programs the way they are, they'd go away. Other Republicans say, I'm not saying it's a majority of you. I don't even think it's even a significant.
Here we go.
It's being proposed by individuals.
Uh-oh.
I'm not politely not naming them, but it's being proposed by some of you.
I'm not naming them.
I like this back
Because I'm
and
making
forth.
it up.
Folks, the idea is
Someone called him a
that
liar.
we're not going to be moved into being threatened to default on the debt if we don't respond. Folks,
Standing ovation. Let's get up again.
Reset. Joe reset.
He's going through his baseball cards again.
Marjorie, please just yell out, Hunter Biden smokes crack. Just scream
A
that.
female yelled out liar.
So
I don't know
folks-
who it was.
as we all apparently agree,
How do you know she's a female?
Social Security and
Jeez.
Medicare is off the books now, right? They're not to be started. All right.
Better go back to Medicare, Joe.
I'm ready.
That's a
got
song.
unanimity.
Why is he clapping?
I know, but with his head down like that, it's like, oh, dude.
Stop clapping.
Have some balls.
Social Security and Medicare are a lifeline
Yeah.
for millions of seniors. Americans have to pay into them from the very first
He looks like
paycheck
he's gonna
they
fall
start.
asleep, too.
So tonight, let's all agree, and we apparently are. Let's stand up for seniors.
Oh, yeah.
They're standing up for themselves.
Everybody
They're
wants
literally
to
all
help.
seniors.
I know, but like, who doesn't want to
Stand
help out
up and
senior
show them.
citizens? Like, oh, no.
We'll
screw
not
'em.
cut Social Security. We will not cut Medicare.
Republicans want seniors
That's
dying
what
in
they
the
say.
streets.
Those
exactly
benefits
the
belong to
narrative
the
they try to
American
create.
people. They earned it. And if anyone tries to cut Social Security, which apparently no one's going to do,
What's Social
They
Security?
have
Ain't
no
social
question
and
they're
they
not going to do
secure.
it.
Medicare,
I promise.
I'll stop them. I'll veto it. And look, I'm not going to allow them to be taken away. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But apparently it's not going to be a problem. Next month, when I offer my fiscal plan, I ask my Republican friends to lay down their plan as well. I really mean it. Let's sit down together and discuss our mutual plans together.
Who is this guy? He has not governed like this at all.
Let's do that.
All of a sudden, he's Mr. Bipartisan.
My Republican friends.
Unbelievable.
I mean, we say this every time, but this really has Hunger Game vibes.
I
don't
can
know.
tell you.
Just the way they're like clapping and
The plan I'm going to
singing
show
out.
you is going to cut the deficit by another $2 trillion. And it won't cut a single bit of Medicare or Social Security. In fact, we're going to extend the Medicare Trust Fund at least 2 decades.
It's going to
That's gonna
bankrupt
be the next
itself.
part.
You
How do
don't
we
have to cut
keep
it.
it solvent, right?
Stop calling
Well,
the entire
not raise
cost of
tax
our
on
debt
anyone
is,
making
are
under
these
400
programs that
grand,
he's
but
claiming he will never touch.
Yeah.
We'll pay for it the way we talked about tonight, by making sure that the wealthy and big corporations pay their fair share.
No, you won't.
Look,
You're a liar.
look.
You know you're lying.
Here's the deal. They aren't just taking advantage of the tax code. They're taking advantage of you, the American consumer. Here's my message to all of you out there. I have your back. We're already preventing Americans from receiving surprise medical bills, stopping $1 billion surprise bills per month so far.
If he
We're
had
protecting
freaking Paul Pelosi's back, it would be a lot
seniors'
better
life savings
situation.
You feel that nose
by
in your hair.
cracking down on nursing
That's
homes
me behind you.
that commit fraud,
Protecting you.
endanger patient safety, prescribe drugs that are not needed. Millions of Americans can now save thousands of dollars because they can finally get a hearing aid over the counter without a prescription.
Well, if they got their hearing aid, why are you yelling at us?
Capitalism
Squint and yell, Daddy.
without competition is not capitalism. It's extortion. It's exploitation. Last year, I cracked down with the help of many of you on foreign shipping companies that were making you pay higher prices for every good coming into the country. I signed a bipartisan bill that cut shipping costs by 90%, helping American farmers,
Fentanyl shipping's
businessmen, and
free.
consumers.
Remember he said 20
finish the
pounds of
job.
fentanyl could kill a man?
Passed the bipartisan legislation to strengthen antitrust
Very, very big man.
and
Very large
prevent
man.
big online platforms from giving their own products an unfair advantage.
Ooh, what is that tie?
That's a solid tie right there. Look at that.
Absolutely not.
That's like a
Sit
Technicolor
down.
1970s
My
tie.
administration is
Age
also
quilt.
taking on junk fees. Those hidden surcharges too many companies use to
that
make
game
you pay
Fortnite?
more. For example, we're making airlines show you the full ticket price up front. Refund your
Oh,
money
thanks, Joe. That's
if your
what we
flight is
need.
canceled or delayed.
It's all on.
We
online
reduced
there.
exorbitant bank overdrafts by saving consumers more than $1 billion a year.
Nope, still 36
We're
bucks.
cutting credit card late fees by 75% from $30 to $8.
Don't you sign up for those
Look.
terms and conditions?
They're having
Look at
help
Nancy.
each
Oh,
other.
she had some
Maxine Waters
some
is so
trouble.
happy that they're getting rid of late fees on
Finally. They add up to
I
hundreds
promise
of
you.
dollars.
Make
Make it hard for you to pay the bills or afford that family trip.
And Nancy is staring at
I know
that
how
glass
unfair
in
it
front of
feels
Kamala
when
so
a company
hard.
overcharges you and gets
She
away with
is
it.
dodging around heads.
Not anymore.
Looking at that because it looks like vodka.
We've written a bill to stop it all. It's called the Junk Fee Prevention Act. We're going to ban surprise resort fees that hotels charge on your
Surprise
bill.
resort
Those
fees?
can
What
cost
nobody
$50
was
a
he's
night
speaking-
at hotels
Excuse me, he's
that
speaking to
aren't
the
even
average American.
resorts.
Nobody
Okay.
can even afford to go on vacation.
We are
in
sick of
Singapore.
people getting ripped
The
off
idea
with baseball cards.
that cable,
It's
internet,
either
and cell
a
phone
first season
companies
rookie or it's
can
not.
charge you $200 or more if you decide to switch to another provider. Give me a break.
Nice
What,
try.
what, how,
We can
what
stop
don't you want to
service
control?
fees on
What don't
tickets to
you want to
concerts and
control?
sporting
He's a
events.
Start with that
capitalist.
list.
He's a
Still has
capitalist,
sugar
Joe.
in it.
This
This
Not
would be a
anymore.
2-minute speech if he just started with what he's not going to control.
Charging
He's a capitalist.
But he's a
$50 round
capitalist,
trip
you're
for a
right.
family just to be able to sit together. Baggage fees are bad enough.
What is this?
Airlines can't treat your child like a piece of baggage.
Yet half the people
Americans
he
are
appoints
tired of
steals
being-
the luggage, and now I can be like,
Play for
who
suckers.
cares about
Free
travel?
alcoholic beverages in economy.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Passed
I
the
wouldn't
Junk
mind
Fee
that.
Prevention Act, so companies stop ripping us off.
We have to
this
protect
guy
your
have?
baggage from my
Workers
appointees.
have been getting stiffed, but not anymore.
306.
We're beginning to restore the dignity of work.
Smoking on
For
an
example,
airplane.
I should have known this, but I didn't until 2 years ago. 30 million workers have to sign non-compete agreements for the jobs they take. 30 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So?
A cashier.
Oh, a lot of cashier
Oh,
non-compete
yeah.
stuff
A
there.
cashier to Burger
Oh,
King.
yeah, another
They
burger.
can't
Let's
get it
make
down
a
to
few
the
bucks more.
rival burger
We don't
place.
want you at McDonald's. You're
They
too
just
good.
can't, because we exposed
Don't
it.
take your Burger King
That was
skills
part of the
and
deal.
go
Guys,
using
look
them
it
at
up.
McDonald's.
I'm sorry.
We see your hands. They're a blur on that
Danny
cash
knows this.
register.
Companies have to compete
I don't
for
want
workers
that
and pay them
talent
what
being
they're
shared.
worth.
What a dumb life.
We're going to go from Stop and Shop to Kroger. We can't allow that.
And I must tell you,
We got paper boys.
All these
How
people
to
are
sign
100 years old.
non-competes.
this is bound to get a response from my friends
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
on
shut
my
up.
left but the right.
Shut up.
I'm so sick and tired of companies breaking the law by preventing workers from organizing. Pass the PRO Act.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Businesses have a right.
What's your
Workers
position
have a right to
on
form a union.
employers forcing vaccines?
Let's
How
guarantee
about that,
all
Joe?
workers have
That's
a living
totally fine.
wage.
Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
don't think that's in the
Let's
book.
make sure working parents can afford to raise a family with sick days, paid family medical leave.
Yeah, how about the truckers in
Affordable
Ottawa? They wanted to
childcare.
form a union. They wanted
Yeah.
to come up with a unified plan.
That's going to enable millions of more people to go and stay at work. And let's
Like,
restore
the worst part about this
full
right now is, like,
child
I'm looking
tax
at his
credit,
book, and tell me he's not only
which gave
halfway
tens
done
of
with this
millions
right
of
now.
parents
He doesn't
a breathing
know.
room.
I think he's forgotten
Cut
to flip
child
a couple
poverty in
pages.
half
To
at
be
the
fair,
lowest
does
level in
Blaze
history.
honor male
And by the way,
maternity leave?
when we do all these things,
What?
we
Does
increase
Blaze
productivity.
honor male maternity
Increase
leave?
Yes,
economic
yes.
growth.
See, well, then I got
We don't have
Let's finish
HR.
the
Yeah,
job.
but we do it on our
And get
own.
more
Right.
He's not
families
telling
It's
us
not
to
the
do it.
government
Quality
that's
housing.
mandating it.
Yeah,
Let's
we
get
just don't
seniors
show up.
who want to stay in their homes the care they need to do so. Let's give more breathing room to millions of family caregivers looking after their loved ones. Pass my plan so we get seniors and people with disabilities the home care and services they need. And support
Where'd your head go?
Sit
the
down.
workers who are doing God's work.
No, she's a spring
It's
up her ass.
every single
These plans
point.
are
I have to
fully
look at
paid
her
for and
weird
we can afford
maroon
to do them.
crotch.
Restoring the dignity of work means making
She's wanting to run
education
for
an
president.
affordable ticket to the
So
middle
she's
class.
taking after the Hillary playbook.
You know, when we
with
made
the
public
pantsuits.
education,
It's funny how the
12
shot
years of it universal.
decapitates her.
in the
Takes
last
her,
century.
yeah, can't see him
We
sleep.
made the best educated, best paid.
I just feel
we
bad for
became the
McCarthy.
best
It's just his
educated,
gut
best
on
paid
TV the
nation
whole
in the
time.
world.
Like, that poor
The rest
Sue
of
just
those
doing a lot of
Kardashians
work
and
holding it
Kardashians.
together.
Thanks there,
Yeah,
buddy.
that
Jill,
sucks.
my wife, who teaches full time.
That's all I'd be thinking
As a
about.
Aren't you
Right.
supposed to unbutton
hope I
when
get
you
it right,
sit?
kid.
Yeah, but he's just.
Any nation that
I mean, Paul Pelosi is the
out-educates
star
us
of
is
this
going to
whole
outcompete
freaking
us.
thing.
Any nation that out-educates is going to outcompete us.
Well, you should talk to
Folks,
him
we
about
all
it.
I
know
love you
12
too, but
years
Bono,
of
man.
education
We all
is
get
not
old,
enough
don't
to
we?
win the economic competition
Have
of
you ever
21st
been
century.
hammered
bird in San Francisco.
You want to have the best
Have you ever
educated
been
workforce?
nailed out by the
Let's finish
bay?
the job. by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old.
He wasn't in the whale.
Studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school and go on to earn a 2 or 4 year degree.
The last
no matter
thing we
their
need is
background
government
they
involved
came
in
from.
more
Wait a
schooling.
minute.
Let's give public school teachers a raise.
That can't be right.
No, the school teachers are trying to groom our children. We don't want to give them a
$60 an
raise.
hour.
Wait,
4 months off a year is not enough.
If you go to preschool, you're
They're sucking.
50% more likely to graduate? Like, that
making
cannot be a real
progress.
No,
stat.
it's not.
By reducing
I'm disappointed
student
that
debt,
Dylan Mulvaney's
increasing
not
Pell
up in the
Grants
gallery there.
for working and middle-class families.
Looks like deranged Asian
finish
next
the
to Bono.
job.
He looks
And
familiar.
connect students to career opportunities starting in high school. Provide access to 2 years of community college.
Deranged
The best
Asian.
career training in America, in addition to being a pathway to a 4-year
Deranged.
degree. Let's offer every American a path to a good career, whether
Is
they
this
go
normal,
to college or not.
This number of standing ovations?
Oh, it's just intolerable. How do people watch this
Whether
crap?
they go to college or
Folks, in
not,
the
while
midst
he's
of the
trying to
COVID
make
crisis,
college free so
when
everyone
schools
can
were
go.
closed,
Okay.
Then everyone goes.
and we were shutting down everything.
Any more ice?
Let's recognize how far we came in the
Ice.
fight against
Ice.
the pandemic
Ice.
itself.
Ice!
We need ice.
While the virus is not gone,
I feel like I'm down on the border.
thanks to the resilience of the American people and the
They don't call for ice
ingenuity
there.
of
They just let them
medicine,
right through.
we've broken the COVID grip on us. COVID deaths are down by 90%.
Like,
We've saved
Well, they
millions
kinda
of
always
lives
were.
and opened up
COVID deaths are down since
country, opened
COVID
our country
stopped.
back
Can you
up.
believe that?
And soon we'll end the public
Since we
health
start
emergency.
barking about it every day.
Did you hear he said soon we're going to end the public health? Not yet.
That's called a public
Yeah,
health
Isn't
May.
this the
emergency.
winter of death, by the
May.
way? Aren't we
Yeah.
all
We'll
supposed to be
remember.
dead by
Well,
now?
this is
Toll and
February.
pain that's never going
We're
to go
in the
away.
middle of the winter of death.
More than 1 million Americans lost their lives to COVID.
we might be dead. I don't know. This might be
Technically,
hell.
I'm a ghost. I've
Children
been
of
dead
Might
this
be
whole
hell. I
time.
don't know.
Empty chairs at the dining room table constantly reminding you
What's a dining room table?
that she used to sit there. Remembering them, we remain vigilant.
Okay.
We still need to monitor dozens of variants and support new vaccines and treatments.
My
Of course,
God.
vaccines.
Congress needs to fund these
Vaccine
efforts
has
to
to be
keep
on the
America
card,
safe.
right? Yeah, vaccine.
Yes.
And as we emerge from
Mark
this
that
crisis
down.
stronger, we're also got to double down on prosecuting criminals who stole relief money meant to keep workers and small businesses.
No way. Did they give away billions of dollars and then expect someone not to steal it? Of
Yeah, I know.
course people stole it.
And you know, that is kind of like disproportionately goes after black people, too. I know that sounds weird, but.
Quite racist.
That is really racist,
Before I
Alex.
came to
No,
office,
it is.
you
It
remember,
Says something racist right here on the
during
screen.
that campaign, the big issue was about inspector generals who were to protect taxpayers' dollars who were sidelined. They were fired. Many people said we don't need them.
And
You're
they
only
had
supposed to
signed
fire
a
people
non-compete,
when
which
you
they were
ran
totally
vaccine
screwed.
Last year, I told you the watchdogs are back. Since then, we've recovered billions of taxpayers' dollars.
God,
some
yeah.
of it is
Triple
great, so I'm
the
not
anti-fraud
impressed.
strike force going after these criminals, double the statute of limitations on these crimes, and crack down on identity fraud by criminal syndicates
I'm
stealing
just saying that if
billions of
Hunter's
dollars.
watching this, when he
Billions
screamed
of
crack
dollars
right
from the
there,
American people.
I mean, or you could just stop giving my money
And the
to other
data
people.
shows that for every dollar we put into fighting fraud, the taxpayers get back at least 10 times as much. It matters. It
Does it?
matters. Look,
Like, just
COVID
let us
left
keep
us
our
scars.
money and stop
like the
giving it
spike
to
in
people.
violent crime in 2020, the first year of the pandemic.
I'll say for all the bashing of the
We have an
pharmaceutical
obligation to
companies,
make
whatever
sure
drugs
all
they've given
people
them,
are safe.
the energy's up, right?
Yeah.
Public
Like
safety
it's-
depends
works.
on public
Yeah,
trust
pick the
as
right
all
one.
of
Can
us
we
know.
get a booster of
Too often
that?
that trust
yeah,
is
Joe
violent.
Biden brought to you by Pfizer.
Join us tonight are the parents of Tyre Nichols.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
It's the first time that dad
use
has
their
seen
pain.
that woman in about 20 years.
Use their pain for your political benefit, please. That's wonderful.
They do seem like strangers.
Hi, who are you?
Like, they really
We had to bury Tyre
uncomfortable.
last week. As many of you personally know, there's no words to describe the heartache or grief of losing a child. But imagine,
I'm sure Joe's going to tell
imagine
us.
if you lost that child at the hands of the law. Imagine having to worry whether
Imagine
your
if
son
you
or daughter
lowered the
came home
standards
from
of
walking
Memphis
down the
police
street
so low
playing
that
in the
thugs
park or
joined
just
and
driving
ended
a
up
car.
murdering people that are sleeping with their
Most
girlfriends.
of us in here
Or imagine if they just put the
never
burn
had to have
pits a
the
mile
talks.
away and none, all the soldiers wouldn't have gotten
talk
cancer and died, including
brown
his
and
own
black
son.
parents have had to have with their children.
Shut up, Alex.
Bo, Hunter, Ashley, my children. I never had to have a talk
He did
with
bring
him.
up Bo.
I never had to tell the police officer, please.
Bo was
move.
probably the best one,
Turn your
though.
interior
I don't
lights
know
on
Bo,
right
but he was
away.
probably...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he was probably worth it.
Wait, but he's,
Don't
he's
reach for your license.
supposed to be honoring
Keep
these
your hands
people.
on the steering wheel.
He's villainizing cops
Imagine
right now.
having to worry like that every single time.
Yeah, affirmative action
If you
doesn't
got in a
work.
car.
We shouldn't do it
Defund
anymore.
the police.
Here's
Doesn't
what
work.
Tyree's mother shared with me when I spoke to her. When I asked her how she finds the courage to carry on and speak out.
Did she fall asleep?
The faith of God,
she
she
looks
said her
like she
son
is.
was
So weird that Bono's
beautiful
Asian
soul.
guys drive me nuts.
Oh,
Who
There's
is he? I
something
know
good
him.
will come of this.
That Andy know.
No, he's part of like some
Imagine
sort
how
of
much
leftist
courage and courage it
activist
takes.
or something.
We believe that.
It's up to us, all of us.
Andy
We
knows
all
what
want the
he
same
cares.
thing. Neighborhoods free of violence. Law enforcement who earns the community's trust.
Law enforcement. Sorry, I meant in person.
Just as every cop with a pin on that badge in the morning
corrects
has
the
a
word
right
with
to
a
be able to go
new,
home at
different
night.
With another wrong word.
Everybody else out there.
Law enforcement. I meant law
Our
enforcement.
children have a right to come home safely.
Don't hire thugs to be
Equal
cops.
protection under the law is a covenant we have with each other in America.
Is he aware that these were black police officers
Wouldn't
that
that be
did
great if
this?
this went, these black
We
cops
know.
are out of control.
Police officers put their
Says
lives on the
something
line
racist?
every
It's like a
single
racial
day.
jungle.
The problem
We know
when
we
you
ask
ban
them to do
meritocracy,
too much to be
you get
counselors,
violent
social workers,
thugs as cops.
psychologists responding to drug overdoses, mental health
Look,
crises,
the pages
and so
are
much more.
changing, but he's not changing
Yeah, I,
the
know, I
pages.
haven't
One
seen him
sense
flip
we
it.
ask
I
too much
swear, I haven't seen him flip it
Someone-
once.
I know most cops like that.
Someone's
Like
under
decent,
this.
4
honest
pages at a
people,
time?
vast
Yeah, the
majority.
does it in the
simulation
middle
is
of the
just
clap.
messing up.
They risk
Which reminds me of Hunter Biden.
Oh, look at the guy who has to get up. Yeah, I'm up.
Bono's up.
and they risk their lives every time they put that shield on. But what happened to Tyre in Memphis happens too often.
Are those
We
salt
have
and
to
pepper
do better.
shakers in front of McCarthy?
Yeah, I've
Give
wondered
law
what those are the
enforcement
whole
the real
time. I can't
training
tell.
they
It's
need.
upside down glasses, I
Hold them
think.
to higher standards.
That glass is different than.
Help
They
them
have better
succeed in
service
keeping
there
us
than we have
safe.
right here on set.
Yeah, where's my
We also
ice?
need
We
more
got
first
on the
responders
border,
and
by the way.
professionals
I'd just
to
like
address
to
the growing mental
reiterate.
health
Wow, you're
substance
really
abuse challenges.
anti on the border.
I
I'm
thought
More
really
resources
anti on the
to
I know
border.
because
violent
you're
crime
actual
and gun
Mexican,
crime.
Yes.
so it's, yeah.
It's
More
offensive.
community
But for a
intervention
fat white
programs.
guy, it's really not that
More
bad,
investment in
honestly.
housing,
It was free.
education, and job
Like
training.
insulin.
Ice.
All this.
Ice.
Prevent
does not
violence in
work.
the first
You're
Right.
really
place.
starting to sound like Nancy
Police
Pelosi.
officers
You're really taking that character
Can I
on.
have some ice,
department violates the
please?
public trust.
Thank you.
They
You have
must
ice in your
be
red
held
wine?
accountable.
Do we have
Not
ice?
for me.
With the support
I really feel the presence of Glenn Beck here.
That guy's
support
a hell of a looker. The guy in the left.
of the families of victims.
Round head.
I wanted
Same
I
for the
wanted
rest
to
of
go
us.
to
Law
Tyre Nichols'
enforcement.
parents.
I signed
And when
an
they last
executive
spoke,
order for all federal
she's like,
officers,
look, you better show
banning
it.
chokeholds,
Dude, Bono's literally one of the
restricting
biggest
no-knock
rock stars in the
warrants.
world. He could be at
Another
any
key
other
elements
place
of
in
the
the
George
world, and
Floyd
that's where he
Act.
chooses to go. I just don't
Let's
get it.
commit
Well, he's raised
ourselves
money
to
for
make
Ukraine.
the words of Tyler's mom true. Something
Not his
good
own money.
must come
No,
from
our
this.
money.
But none
Something
of the
good.
things that you're proposing would have affected the Tyre Nichols situation at all.
Oh,
And all of us,
His,
No, not a
his
single thing.
policies are why Tyre Nichols died.
Yeah.
all of
Yes.
us.
You lowered the standards
Lower the
so
standards,
low
defund the police, and that's
that
what
you got
got.
random miscreants to become cops.
Oh, wow.
And the
We have ice.
ice.
We have lots of ice.
You know what? If you drink your liquor
Thanks,
like me and
Rob.
Gavin,
You don't need it.
like
What a
men,
hero.
Like men.
Uh-oh.
You
Folks,
need
it's
some
difficult,
ice.
but it's simple. All of us in this
America
chamber,
needs
we
ice.
need
I don't need
to
ice.
rise
Oh,
to
put the
this
bowl on the
moment.
table, maybe?
no, we're very European
Wow.
in that
Wow.
regard.
Ice.
Wow, that is going to be
some
really
big
cold.
juice.
Do what we know
Take all the
works.
ice you're going to give me for my drink and send it to the border.
Let's come together to finish the job on police reform. Do something.
No, thank you.
no,
Do something. That was the plea of
Spend it
parents
on
who lost
whips.
their children in Uvalde. I met with every one
We
of them.
always
Oh,
say do
Uvalde.
something. What?
Do something about gun violence.
What?
Here we go.
Thank
Isn't that on the
God.
What would
card?
solve Uvalde?
Thank
Wasn't
God
gun
we
violence
did.
on the
Let
card?
me tell you what you do. You
Hey.
finish the job.
Passed
Make,
the
oh, I've
sweeping
got an
gun
idea,
safety law in
guys.
3
Make
decades.
murder illegal.
They should totally do
They
that.
should have an
That's
anti-lynching
things
bill.
like
Yeah.
They should make
majority
lynching.
of
You
illegal.
can't hang
gun
people
owners
for
Make
no
won't
reason.
murder
support.
illegaler.
Enhanced background checks for 18 to 21 years old.
I
Red
want that
flag
Sir,
laws,
make
keeping
murder
guns out of the
illegal.
hands of people who are a danger to themselves and others. But
Red
we know
flag
our
laws.
work is not done.
I think that
Join
one
us tonight
spontaneous clap was
is
Dan
Brandon
Crenshaw.
Say, a 26-year-old hero. Brandon put his college dreams on hold to be at his mom's side. His mom saw him when she was dying from cancer.
That's the guy that grabbed the gun, I think?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that guy is
Brandon.
badass.
So that's an awesome dude.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
But don't
Wait,
use
so
him to promote
rights
gun
are
control.
Cool. Yeah, like gun rights are cool with him, but not.
Brandon now works at a dance studio started by his grandparents. And 2 weeks ago.
He works at a dance
Dance
studio?
studio started
that
by his
way.
For
grand-
New Year's
What kind of
celebration.
dancing is
I heard the
this?
studio door closed.
The waltz?
He
I
saw a
mean-
man standing there pointing semi-automatic pistol at him.
Like that guy.
He thought he was going to die, but he thought about the people inside. And in that instant, he found the courage to act and wrestled a semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman who had already killed 11 people in another dance studio.
Okay, but imagine if he was
11.
armed.
But the video is
Yeah, if he was armed, there'd be no wrestling.
It's time we do
Or
the same.
illegaler.
Yeah.
Banned assault weapons now.
Ban them. They just said banned assault weapons. now.
It's a weird music group. Band.
What is an assault?
Yeah, what is this whole...
We
I
tried
led the
this.
fight
It
to
didn't
do
work.
that.
It's a badass.
In
I do like this guy.
1994,
Okay, but what weapon was this guy using? do you
10
know?
years.
I'm
That
sure it was
ban
an
was
assault
law.
weapon.
Mass shootings went down.
One of those.
After
It
the
was a
expired, the
semi-automatic
Republican
assault pistol.
administration,
Assault pistol.
mass shootings tripled. Let's finish the job and ban
Finish
these
the
assault
job. That's
weapons.
what you do.
Your own studies said
And let's
the assault
also
weapon
come
ban did not
together
work.
Did not work,
immigration.
Your own studies.
Make it a
Yeah,
bipartisan
Columbine
issue
happened
once
during
again.
the assault weapons ban, right? Only for Columbine.
That is a hell of a dress.
We now have a record number of personnel working to secure the border.
Do
Arresting
we?
8,000 human smugglers.
Wait, what?
Seizing over 23,000 pounds of fentanyl in just the last several months.
20
We've
pounds
launched
could
a
kill
new
a man.
border
Can I
plan
get a
last
pound
month.
of that fentanyl right now?
Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97% as a consequence of that.
What
But
did he say?
American border problems won't be fixed until Congress acts.
Yeah, but
If
yeah.
we don't pass my comprehensive immigration reform,
Your what?
It's
at
yours.
least pass my plan to provide the equipment and officers to secure the border.
Whoa!
Oh, now we're securing the border.
Pathway to citizenship.
Help
Okay.
me.
He really
Help
wants to secure
Those
the
on
border.
temporary
Strengthen
status,
the
farm
border,
workers,
he
essential
says.
workers.
That's
Here in the people's
balls.
house. It's
I
our
actually
duty
admire
to
that.
protect all the people's rights and freedoms.
That is the
Congress
ballsiest
must
thing I've
restore the
ever
right
seen.
and the
Order.
Uh-oh.
What are you saying?
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh yeah, let's make it a combo.
Congress must restore
I'm
the
hearing
right
voices from outside my head and not
that was
just
taken
inside.
away.
It's
to
actually
Roe v.
not
Wade
sure.
and protect
He
Roe v.
wasn't.
Wade.
He really did a double take.
Protect Roe v. Wade. Give me a break.
Give every woman a consular right.
We love killing
The Vice
babies.
President and I are doing everything.
Babies aren't
Protect
alive.
access to reproductive
You can always tell when he goes into the
Healthcare.
death stare.
and safeguard patient
That was
safety.
weird.
Well, already more than a dozen states are enforcing extreme abortion bans.
Extreme.
Make no mistake about it.
Biden was actually
If Congress
anti-abortion not
passes
that
a
long ago.
national
Did you
ban,
see that?
I
They
will
had
veto
actually
it.
voting against abortion.
But let's also pass.
It's not going to pass a national ban. You can control the Senate. You know that.
Let's also pass the bipartisan
I just want him to
Equality
recognize
Act.
Ketanji
to ensure
Brown Jackson.
LGBTQ
IA2+.
Americans, especially
See if we can get that
transgender
name
young
out.
people, can
He
live
didn't
with
say the
safety
two.
and dignity.
Where's the two spirits?
He
He
didn't
Our
say the
strength.
two.
didn't say the
Two
plus.
plus A?
He didn't say the I. He didn't say the A. He didn't say the second Q.
Our
What?
strength is
Bigot.
not
Bigot.
just the example of our power, but the power of our example. Let's remember the world's watching.
Oh.
I spoke in this
We know they
chamber
are.
1 year
They're
ago.
laughing too.
Yeah, that's
Just
why they
days
send a
after
giant
Vladimir
Chinese
Putin
balloon
unleashed
over the
the
country
balloon.
against
to
Ukraine.
mock us.
A murderous assault, evoking images of death and destruction Europe suffered in World War II. Putin's invasion has been a test for the ages, test for America,
Millie?
That's
test
Millie.
for the
That's
world.
really.
Those guys are probably in the
Would we
military.
stand for the most
And then
basic of
Ketanji Brown
principles?
Jackson. is
Probably
right
done
there.
important
We
things too
stand
with
for
all of those
sovereignty.
badges.
I have like a
We stand for the
gaydar,
right
but
of
for
people to
people
live
in the
free of
military, I
tyranny.
can just tell.
Just
Will we stand for the defense of democracy?
Certain
you do
stripes on their
Democracy.
jackets.
For
It's
such
You can
defense
suss
matters
it
to us.
You do have an
because
eye
it
for
keeps
decorum.
peace and prevents open season on would-be aggressors and threatens our prosperity.
We are so strong.
1 year later, we know the answer. Yes, we would, and we did.
Sit down,
We did.
shut up.
Maxine is now gone. She's conspicuously absent from her seat.
And
She
together,
had potty time? Is it potty?
we did what America
Potty
always
time.
does at our best. We led. We united NATO. We built a global
Elizabeth
coalition.
Warren still,
We stood against Putin's
still in
aggression.
office, apparently.
Yeah,
We
she
stood
smoked
with
the
the
blonde
Ukrainian people to tonight. We're once again joined by Ukrainian's ambassador to the United States. She represents not just her nation, but the courage of her people. Our ambassador is here.
Yeah, what's her
Doug
name?
here?
We're
What's her-
uniting our support. of your
What's her name?
Kanye West.
Stand so we can all take a look at
What's
you.
her name? Did he
There
say
she
her
is.
name?
Up there.
No, I
He
didn't.
just
Up there by the,
pointed.
right up there by the ghost of Lincoln.
What's her name? Say her name.
She's one of my favorite
That was
people in the
what-
world.
Why is everybody into Paul Pelosi? He's
long
not
as it
like-
takes.
What? They're just mocking
Hey,
us.
that's the assassin from Die Hard.
Yeah, Hans.
Our nation's word
No,
is
it's
more
right.
freedom,
It's
more
his right-hand
dignity,
man.
And whatever
more
her name
peace.
is, I bet it's one of
Not
the
just in
best
Europe,
names
but
in the
everywhere.
country.
Before I came to office, the story
very
was
blue-collar
about
name.
how the People's Republic of China was
Right.
increasing its power.
I bet it's
And
Jen.
America was failing in the world. Not anymore.
Jen Smith.
We made clear, and I made clear in my personal conversations, which have been many, with President Xi.
Dude, the
that
binder
we see
is
competition.
It is going down.
But I will make no
I haven't
apologies
seen him
that
change the
we're
page once.
investing to make America
It's like
stronger.
an hourglass.
Okay.
Investing in American innovation and industries that will define the future
And what?
that
one
China
word.
intends to be dominating.
Investing.
Investing in our alliances and working with our allies to protect advanced technologies so they will not be used against us.
Like TikTok?
Modernizing our military to safeguard stability and deter aggression.
They're the most
Today,
inclusive military
we're the
ever,
strongest
guys. Don't
position
worry.
in decades to compete with China
seen
or
the flags.
anyone else in the world. Anyone else in the world.
He's out of steam, dude.
Not committed.
This is like a boxer who doesn't eat well on the 5th round. He's gassing out.
I'm committed to work with China
Taking
where we
saline
can advance
tablets.
American
The words
interests
are
in the
sounded
world. But make no mistake about
one
it.
word.
As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
We did.
Oh, we
did.
blew a balloon
We
out.
did.
did.
On day
9
what?
months
After it
too
was
late.
done.
On day what?
Look,
After it did its tour of America.
Pacific
clear.
nation sent a dirigible over our
competition
country
should
and we
deny
shot
all
it down
this.
in the Atlantic.
We shut it down on the
serious
way
challenge
home.
to
Travel the entire country.
But the
It was
past 2
basically
years,
taking Marco
democracy's
Polo's
become
route the
stronger, not
opposite
weaker.
way.
Autocracy's grown
I feel like
weaker,
they let
not
us become
stronger.
friends with the
Name
balloon
me
before
a
they
world
killed it, and
leader
I didn't like that.
who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Name me one.
Uh-oh.
Bob?
America's rallying the world to meet those challenges, from climate to global health, to food insecurity, to terrorism, to
What about
territorial
their
aggression.
pollution?
Allies are stepping up, spending more, and doing more.
No, they're not.
He's so mad.
I'm really angry. And if
The
Trump did
bridges
this,
were
all
formed
that's
between
all the
partners
coverage
in
would
the
be. How
Pacific and
angry
those
he
in the
was.
Atlantic.
This will be, of course,
Can you
praised.
Those who bet against
Yelled.
America are learning how wrong they are. It's never, ever been a good bet to bet against America. Never.
Yeah, you really believe that, I'm sure.
This is like squad
Yeah, that's
talk.
the thing. I don't like you talking about our Republicans like it's bad. Like
Vegas running off?
Yeah, it's that and the Gatorade bath. You can parlay it.
Well,
They're literally changing
And
the
they all
USA.
hate the
Okay.
USA.
They-
Every one of them
when I
hates
came to
They're
office,
trying to
most
fundamentally
assured that
transform the USA.
bipartisanship
Suddenly it's the
assumed
Olympics.
was impossible.
Can you imagine their thighs
But never
tomorrow
believe it.
after all these squats?
That's why a year ago,
They're going to not be able to do walk up and down stairs.
They probably have one of those
We made no
recliners where you
progress
hit the
today.
button and it just kind of lifts them a little
Last
bit. You
law
know?
making it easy for doctors to prescribe effective treatments for opioid addiction. We passed
Wait, why are you clapping for
the gun
opioid
safety
addiction?
law, making historic investments in mental health. We launched the ARPA-H drive for breakthrough in the fights against cancer, Alzheimer's, and diabetes.
You said you were
So
going to
much
cure
more.
it. Why have you not cured it yet?
We
You did
passed
say that.
I
the Lee
didn't say
Robinson Tax
curecancer.com.
Act, named after the late Iraq War veteran whose story about exposure to toxic burn kits I shared here
Toxic
last
burn
year.
kits? What are the burn kits?
Burn
Hey,
kits are worse
Maxine's
than burn
back.
pits.
Really?
Maxine's back.
Wow.
Oh, Maxine's back from the potty?
Wet wiped and ready to rock.
She had a nice poo-poo and she's
Sarah,
ready
what do
to
you think
go.
about Kristen Sinema's dress?
I love
so
it.
much more
Really?
to do.
She's the best dressed for sure.
can
Our
do
own
it
Keith
together.
Malinak said, look, a monarch
Join us
butterfly is
tonight.
inside the...
No, she's the best. Listen, Keith does not
It
know
looks
fashion.
good on her
Well, we don't
figure,
go
but I don't
to, we
like
don't
the
go Keith
show.
for fashion.
No,
we know that.
that's what I'm
Fresh out of the
saying.
cocoon.
She
me as
is
well.
best dressed.
About his courageous daughter, Courtney.
She looks like Lady Gaga. for
Contagious
Congress.
laugh.
No, no,
His
don't
sister's
go that
best
far.
friend.
He does have kind
Her
of a
sister's
vibe.
best friend. He
Congress.
shared the
Ga,
story
ga,
often
ga.
familiar to millions of Americans.
Kristen
Many of you will be
Sinema.
Courtney discovered pills in high school.
Oh, shit. It's not good.
It spiraled into addiction
Yeah.
and eventually death from a
Kinda like your
fentanyl
son?
overdose.
They really care about
She's just 20
drug
years old.
overdoses. That's why they're letting all the fentanyl across the
Describing
border.
the last 8 years without her, Doug said, there's no worse pain.
She
must
does
be rough
kind of
living
look like a
with
modern
Trump.
butterfly.
in that shot. That's fair.
Working to end the stigma and change laws.
They're pretty, monarch butterflies.
He told us he wants to start a journey toward American recovery. Doug, we're with you. Fentanyl
Oh, we
is
found
killing
Doug.
over 70,000
There's
Americans
Doug.
a year.
That was the Doug he was thinking about the whole time.
Big,
The border. Thank you. The border. What are you going to do about it? You've left it wide open.
Oh, look at Dr. Jill Biden. She was really
Someone
crying,
just said
frowning.
it's your fault.
It is.
It is, but
So let's launch a major surge to stop fentanyl production and the sale and trafficking.
Shut down the
More drug
border,
detection
Joe.
machines, inspection
sounds like
cargo,
he's on
stop
fentanyl.
pills and powder at the border.
this is
Working with
gaslighting at
couriers
its
like
purest here.
FedEx to inspect more packages.
What is Biden?
Oh, it's FedEx's fault?
Strong penalties to crack down on fentanyl trafficking. Second, let's do more on mental health, especially for our children. When millions of young people are struggling with bullying, violence, trauma.
They take fentanyl?
Wearing masks, sitting behind plexiglass in class.
I'm so sick of getting bullied. I want
We
to
must
do
finally
heroin.
hold social media companies accountable for experimenting they're doing running children for profit.
What?
There's time to pass bipartisan legislation
Yeah, shut it down.
to stop
Shut down
big
TikTok.
tech from
TikTok.
collecting personal data on our kids and teenagers online.
Do people not realize the reason why all of
Ban
these social media
targeted
companies are
advertising
free
to
is because our
children.
data
And
is how we
impose
pay
stricter
for it.
limits
I mean, it's just.
on the personal data that companies
Are
collect
you,
on
are you
all
talking about
they
the
want.
dress? You're talking about the yellow
Third.
dress?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she is
Kristen
saying that
Keep
that's a
this
beautiful dress.
nation's one
It is.
truly
I'm not
sacred
sure it's
obligation
suitable for something like
equip
this.
those
but
we
it's
send
not.
into harm.
does-
Oh, you prefer the
does really
pantsuit?
pop.
You prefer the
Pantsuit.
pantsuit?
Job placement for veterans.
She shows really
and their
good
spouses
cleavage,
as
too.
they
She's
come
good with her
Oh,
return to
my
civilian
God.
life.
Sarah, she does.
Helping
okay?
veterans afford the rent because
Sarah,
no one
it's
should
just
be
a
homeless
fact,
in America,
all right?
It's
especially
better than the
someone who
pantsuit.
served the
That's all I'm
country.
saying.
It's a lot of clavage.
Wish you believed that.
The audacity of this man to talk about the drug epidemic as if he hasn't been the one to make
Dennis
it worse.
McDuck,
And like he wants to
Dennis
hire more
McDonough is
people to
here
work at the
at the
border.
VA.
Yeah,
To do
right.
what?
We had a
Welcome
first
them as they
discussion
walk
asking
through?
them to take
Here's your
jobs.
free cell
Shake their
phone.
hand?
Yeah.
Give them a freaking
We were
Uber
losing
ride
up
to their next
25 veterans a
destination?
day on
You are heated.
suicide.
I
Now we're losing 17 of
right.
these.
Directly
Well, this is
responsible
a
for the
scourge of
border.
suicide.
He's
17
directly responsible for
veterans a
fentanyl.
day
These are all his
are
things. He
committing
should avoid
suicide.
discussing them.
He spent 2 hours in
More
El
than all the
Paso.
people being killed in the
And they
wars.
cleaned it up before he went there.
Folks, VA is doing everything it can, including expanding mental health screening, proven programs that recruits veterans to help other veterans
Wait
understand
times-
what they're going
Wait
through,
time's less than 6
veteran?
get
hours.
them the help they need. We got to do more. And fourth,
Now
Gotta
they care.
finish the
Now they
job.
care about
last
the
year,
vets.
Jill and I reignited the cancer moonshot.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I
here it
was
comes.
able
Here it
to
is.
start with President Obama
As
asking
Joe
to
Biden,
lead our
curecancer.com.
administration on this issue. Our goal is to cut
I'm
the
gonna go there
cancer
right now.
death
I wanna
rate
Yeah,
see.
check it. See if he's
Okay.
done it. He might be
at least
cured.
by 50%
Can you buy a
in the next
Nancy Pelosi
25
sucks
years.
pen there?
No,
Turn more
unfortunately.
cancers from
Son
death
of a
sentences
bitch.
to treatable diseases. Provide more support for patients and their families.
I'm sorry
It's
to tell
personal
you.
to so many
No.
of us.
Spoiler
So
alert.
many of us
Has Joe
inside
Biden
us.
cured cancer? No.
Joining us,
Is that
Sorry.
PolitiFact? Only
Morris
for
and
PolitiFact.
Candice, an Irishman and a
Imagine
daughter
when
of
you zoom in on
immigrants from
that
Panama.
camera and go right there and pop that
They
note
met
right
and
there.
fell in love in New York
Right
City and
there.
got married in the same chapel
I
Jill and I
did.
got married in New
Dude, your
York City.
tie sucks. That can
Kindred
say top
spirits.
button.
I know. Why don't you just
wrote us a
tighten
letter.
it a little, dude? You don't have to.
About his little daughter,
Look like an
Ava.
idiot.
He's sweating.
And I saw her just before I came over. She was just a year old when she was diagnosed with
How is
rare
this
kidney
speech still
disease,
going on? I
cancer.
can't even comprehend it.
After 26 blood transfusions, 11 rounds
How's he
of
touching his
radiation,
crotch?
How long are we into
8
this
rounds
thing?
of
Well, he
chemo,
was talking about children.
1 kidney removed,
Sorry, I gotta
giving a
adjust my
5%
bone.
survival rate. He wrote how in the
was going
darkest
up and I'm
moments he
gonna put
thought
it
if
down.
she goes, I
Father,
can't
We
stay.
don't need to know all of this.
Many of you have been through
Sarah,
that
they're
as
going to
well.
talk about child cancer and
So I
child
understand that,
autism,
like
but
so
they'll
many of
never
you.
Don't even
discuss
don't
why.
even
Read
get
Jill's
me
book
started.
describing our family's cancer journey and how we tried to steal moments of joy where we could with Bo.
Oh,
For them,
goes back
that
to
glimmer
Bo.
of joy was the half smile
That was about him.
of their baby girl. It meant everything to them. They never gave up hope.
And now
It's so-
Bono.
it's
Yeah,
so-
and Hunter
Never
Biden
gave up
slept
hope.
with her.
It's so
She turns 4
narcissistic.
next month.
Dude, Tyree's mother is
They
falling
just found
asleep.
out.
She's tired.
She was when
Ava's
he was
beating the
talking
odds.
about her.
She's
Yeah.
on her way to being cured of cancer. And she's watching from the White House tonight and she's not asleep already.
If she's if she's listening to you, she's
The lies
listening.
we can say.
So.
That's a nice quote. Yeah, some of these others are nice, but he still sucks.
For the lies we can say and the lies we've lost, let this be a truly American moment that rallies the country and the world together and proves that we can still do big things. 20 years ago, under the leadership of President Bush and countless advocates
now
and
we're praising
champions,
Bush.
we undertook a
That's-
bipartisan effort
that's
through PEPFAR
pandering.
to transform the global fight against HIV AIDS. It's been a huge success.
Huge?
Did he say huge?
Is he
He
talking
thought
about
large.
AIDS?
Bigly.
They cured Magic Johnson, sir.
I believe
That's the only
we can do
person
the
I
same
will
thing
take
with cancer.
virus advice from.
Yeah, he's my coronavirus expert.
We're in such a bad spot
Let's
that
end
he's
cancer
bragging
as we
about
know it.
AIDS.
Yeah.
Cure
Where's
some
Fauci?
cancers.
Let's get Fauci to weigh in on this.
Yeah, at AZT.
When I came into office, AIDS was, I don't know, like 1%. It's down to 0.5%.
Our democracy itself.
We have
It's the most
AIDS.
fundamental
When I
thing of
came
all.
in, it was for the gays, not for everybody.
Democracy. Everything's possible. Without it, nothing is. The last few years, our
They
democracy has been
keep
threatened
democracy.
and
They
attacked.
keep calling it
Put
democracy.
at
They're
risk.
trying to
Put to
January
the
6th.
test in this very room on January the 6th.
make everyone think
And
we
then
have
just
democracy.
a few months ago, an unhinged
And a
big
what?
lie, assailant unleashed a political violence, the home of the then Speaker of the House of Representatives.
What about Kavanaugh?
Here we
Also,
go.
you
Here we go. Here we go.
You didn't mention the Kavanaugh thing.
What about the
As
Republican
they talk
in,
these laws and chant
was it
on January
Baltimore
6th.
who was assassinated
Here
in her
tonight in this
driveway?
chamber,
Didn't mention that
is a
either.
man who bears the scars of that.
Where was that?
brutal
Was that
attack.
Maine or Massachusetts? It was
Who's as
someplace.
tough and as strong
Look
as
at
his own.
Paul,
That was
though.
Massachusetts.
My
I could've-
friend Paul Pelosi. Paul, stand up.
I mean, he looks like he could be training Rocky Balboa right now.
We've seen him
It's
all.
incredible.
We've all
What
seen him
is
in his
with your
underwear.
hat, dude?
Oh, look, she's not even sitting with him.
I
She's
know.
like, screw you. I don't want to be with you.
I was gonna give you a fake tear, but my aqueducts have been sewn shut.
Well, such a heinous act should have never happened.
So they don't fall out.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
We must
They're
all
not sitting
speak out.
together?
There's no place for political violence
I'd rather
in
sit
America.
with Bono, thanks.
We have to protect the right to vote,
Do we
not
get a
suppress the
Bono
fundamental
explainer?
right.
Like, is that some
Honor
point
the
is he at
results
least
of
called?
elections, not
Coming. We're
subvert the
gonna
will
be.
of people.
Yes.
Listen,
Why is
Grant the
it
whole
the final
human race to
montage
trust in
of
our
Team America is gonna be
institutions.
all about Ukraine.
We must
Oh,
give
yeah,
hate
no, yeah, that
and
makes sense.
extremism.
And I'd like
in
to
any
give the
form,
floor over to my
no
friend
safe
Bono.
harbor.
Thanks, Joe.
One man
Bobby
came and a man
Sands
was lonely.
had to starve himself to death because of the English
Democracy.
Empire.
It must not be a partisan issue.
Talk about the bombs in
It's
Belfast.
an American issue. Every generation of Americans
He's
has
yelling
faced a
again.
moment where they have been called to protect our democracy, defend it, stand up for it. And this is our moment. My fellow Americans, we meet tonight at an inflection point. One of those moments that only a
Where
few
you're on the
generations
way
ever
out.
face.
Yeah.
Where the direction we now take is going to decide the course of this nation for
Dude,
decades
the
to
magic
come.
binder is still aging
We're not
like sand through
bystanders
the
in this.
hourglass.
We're not
And we've
powerless
seen
before
two
the forces
pages
that
turn.
confront
Yeah.
us. It's within
Telling you,
our power.
do it in between the clouds.
Of we the
He
people.
is using the voodoo.
We're facing the test of our time.
It is a
We
voodoo
have to be the
binder.
nation we've always been at our best. Optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking. A nation that embraces light over dark, hope over fear, unity over division, stability
What
over
was
chaos.
that?
We have to see each other
Just
not
come
as
on,
enemies,
you know the
but as
thing.
fellow Americans.
Wookin' Panub.
We're good people.
Just last
The
year,
only nation in the world built on an idea.
he
the only
tried
one.
to say half the country was extreme MAGA Republicans
Yeah.
who should be lambasted from society, and now he's like, we should all come together.
Right. So
Well, he,
Right.
ran on,
Nation.
he did run on a unity platform.
Right.
Are defined by geography, ethnicity.
As long as you agree with what he believes.
We're the only nation based on an idea.
Otherwise, you go to the
we're not the
re-education
only
camp.
nation based on ideas.
Yeah, what does it
Every
mean
one
for
of
the
us
only
is created
nation
equal in
based
the
on
image
Yeah,
of
the
God.
communists had ideas. They were just terrible
A
ideas.
nation that stands as a beacon to the world.
Aren't all countries
A
based on
nation
ideas?
that
Yeah.
in a new age of
Yeah.
America is an
possibility.
idea.
So I've come to fulfill my constitutional obligation.
You should be
to report in
impeached.
the State of the Union.
We haven't heard the
And
strong
here's
thing
my report. Because the soul of this nation is strong. Because the backbone of this nation is strong. Because the people of this nation are strong. The State of the Union is strong.
Is it?
It's
Is
so
it?
strong, Sarah.
Yeah.
I don't
Good job, Gavin.
feel it.
Gavin's the only
Gavin
one.
feels it.
Gavin feels it.
Gavin's very
Stronger than ever.
bipartisan.
Come on,
A
that
lot
dress
of
is
people not
absurd.
clapping.
I know, but she
A
looks
lot
good
of
on her
people not
hips. You
clapping.
know, she
I'm
fills
not
it
new
out
to this
down there.
place.
I like that.
Oh,
I stand
my
here
God,
tonight.
She's got a little.
I like
hard
it
to
at a
talk about
birthday
any one of
party.
you who've ever served here. But I've never been more optimistic about our future. About
Really?
the future America. We just have to remember
Dude,
who we
you're
are.
Because he says
We're
it's
the
how
United
could it get
States
worse?
of America.
Surely it's
and
got to
there's
get better.
nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
What about Bono?
Yeah.
Where's Bono?
Ukraine.
Bono's going to sing a song from Spider-Man.
He didn't give him a shout out. He has him all the way there and doesn't shout out Bono. That kind of makes
He
me.
forgot Bono.
That feels rude.
That's an F you to Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he's going to come down and perform after this. Who knows?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be solid. That would be a good ending to this. It was not a good. It was not a good speech. Anyone have a quick reaction? How would you rate this on a 1 to 10 situation?
Negative 1 million.
Negative 1 million. That's
Well,
not good.
That's pretty low.
Oh, you said 1 to 10.
Yes, I did.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry
Well,
about
I just
that.
want to be a counter signal. I guess he did better than I thought, but he was talking all these base conservative viewpoints.
Well, but
You know, like,
it was all just complete lies.
Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
big Obama thing he
yeah.
used to do.
Yes.
Which
But
was,
he even brought up George Bush. I mean, like,
yeah,
what? I mean,
he'd
this
sound
is
like
just-
Reagan during the main
Kamala.
speeches.
Yeah, I would
and then
give it
he
a
would govern
5,
like
solid
hit- like
5.
Stalin.
He was the Adderall worked. He barely stuttered because he
this.
has a stuttering problem, like the King's Speech. But he was just reading a script that someone wrote. I mean, like, why even watch this crap?
Yeah, I mean, it was filled with
Look
lies.
at Bernie with the mask. Look at Bernie with the mask, too.
Oh my God, that is Bernie!
With the mask. He's the only one
He's
in
the
a
only
mask.
one with a mask.
No, there's a photographer with a mask.
But he's
too.
one of the most
Like,
famous
even
guys.
Nancy Reagan isn't wearing a
Yeah,
mask
I mean-
up there in the top.
Like, but
And she's dead.
Yeah. Well, Maxine Waters almost
Maxine's
fell
about to fall
down.
Be a good reason to not wear a mask if you.
Wow,
if
she
you're
is
dead.
about to fall down.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
Good
doesn't need
Times
to wear a
isn't
mask
wearing
if
a
she's dead.
mask.
They need to find some
So-
Are they
blood of a
holding
child.
Dynamite.
All right, let's start with Alex Stein down there at the end. Alex, your reaction to the speech, and give me something that you're plugging, like for example, your program starting tomorrow night.
Okay, well, yeah, guys, do not forget, tomorrow night, Gavin McInnes and I are on the inaugural debut episode of Primetime with Alex Stein. And just my quick 1 second reaction. Like I said, he did a little bit better than I expected. I thought he was going to totally crap the bed.
That's way longer than 1 second.
Okay, but I'm saying he used all of our talking points. He sounded like a freaking Blaze TV contributor on the freaking State of the Union.
All right, Gavin McInnes, you're going to be, of course, on Alex Stein's program. And you, first of all, let us know where else people can find you and follow you, and then what was your reaction?
You
to the
can find
speech?
me at censor.tv, where I do a show every day. This was just fake. This was a man, a compulsive liar, reading a pile of lies on teleprompter, doing an okay job. But I come at this more as a geriatric who's at death's door, being semi-articulate for a couple hours. So I'm going to give him a 5.5, maybe even a 6.
Wow.
Just out of the sheer
That's not bad.
sort of cardiovascular calisthenics of it all. Like, at least he was
Yeah.
able to do it.
There was definitely some energy there. I mean, there was a lot of screaming at us. I don't know why he was so mad at us, but he was.
Chimps are like that when they get older. They
Yeah.
start attacking the younger chimps.
Yeah.
They do. They eat their young, really. It's weird.
Chad Prather.
Yeah, from the Russian judge, I'm going to give him a 5 as well. I'm going to say, it's passable performance. In that, look, he got through the thing, which is an astounding feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I agree with Alex. I think you have some conservative talking points in there. It's going to be interesting to hear the rebuttals. Sarah Sanders is going to give, Governor Sarah Sanders is going to give the Republican rebuttal tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what she has to say on that deal. But hopefully more people will continue to call him out and scream liar in his presence.
Well, wait, Chad, do you think he does that kind of base, more conservative speech so people can't counteract?
I think he has to get through it, because if he were, you see how he gets thrown off when people start screaming liar at him.
Yeah. He doesn't acknowledge it.
They know that about him, that if suddenly there were questions being thrown at him, that's why they don't let him handle questions in pressers. He doesn't walk over from the helicopter like Trump used to do and take all the questions and spend all the time with the press corps. They know that if more pushback comes his way, he's going to get flustered. So he had to do enough stuff to sound at least bipartisan in this.
Yeah. Sara Gonzales.
I would just say I think the real winner in all of this is Pfizer. They clearly dosed him with the correct amount of drugs
Perfect
to
dose.
get him through, right?
Got him through.
And I think
He's
that
wilting.
they are facing potentially record amounts of loss with all of this COVID vaccine that's going away. and now they at least know that they can consider themselves winners when it comes to Joe Biden. So I think
doctor's
that it's a
right
win
up
for
there
them.
on the podium.
That's what
right?
she's literally standing there in
But-
case something happens and she needs to go in and just shoot him up with
They
something
get
else.
to leak whatever he got because we all want it.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
But can we
Listen.
honestly, though, can we look at how lackluster the excitement is in this room, in the Hall of Congress, right here? This,
Chad,
like
he
normally,
won his campaign from the basement. I
This
mean-
is a circle jerk.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
well, you know what? Suddenly I'm looking for a hotel room. I'm just saying that normally there's a lot of fanfare around this, both coming in and leaving. There's just, and he's being followed out by this Chinese spy, Mark Milley.
Right now, he's like, I cannot wait to get my 3-day nap that I always get after these Adderall sessions.
Yeah, I mean, truly. So
I'm gonna sleep like a log.
Listen, look at the Viagra commercial that this scene is right here.
Again, Pfizer.
That's why I had to.
That's what I'm
Thank
saying.
you.
Pfizer is the winner in this entire ordeal.
At the end of the game, Pfizer.
Everybody
Those
thinks
guys
Mitch
are like,
McConnell's
"What
a
do you
turtle.
want? Tell
This
me
is
what
a.
you're on. Tell me what it is. What is it?
I
can't
sleep
tell
like
you,
a baby.
My people can tell you. I don't know. But like JFK said, if it's horse piss, keep doing it.
As I said earlier, call my office.
I will say, look, I think there is something to be said for the fact that he got through this. And typically, Biden in these longer speeches has about 20 minutes or so of energy, and then it fades really quickly. He did get to the end of it. But I think it is important to note that the aesthetics of this are one thing. And I think it was a very angry speech. It was a weird sort of emotional outburst at times. But at the end of the day, this was an hour and a half of the President of the United States standing up there at the podium lying to you constantly. It was a constant stream of lies.
Gaslighting.
And it's not something that we should accept, honestly, as Americans. We all know he is not governed as this bipartisan figure he just tried to present himself as, and it's an embarrassment. We all know that what he was, he went over and over again. We can go through the claims tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a little fact check tomorrow, but it was constantly filled with lies. And that part of it was really, really embarrassing. We deserve better as a country, and we're never going to get it from this guy.
Well, one thing he didn't lie is Dr. Jill Biden is a great doctor. That's one thing
Yes.
he was honest about is how good of a doctor she is. So he's not a total liar.
No, that's true.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Alex.
much, Alex Stein. And look, she's an Eagles fan, so I can't hate her completely.
Oh my God! It's never about the Eagles! I don't want the Eagles to win. I want them to lose.
The Eagles are much better than the
Eagles. Alex Stein. Alex Stein, his big show starting up tomorrow night. Do not miss it. Gavin McInnes, awesome as well. As always, thank you so much, Chad Prather.
You're welcome.
Great show as well. Chad Prather's show, available, of course, on BlazeTV. Sara Gonzales, The News and Why It Matters is a great show. I'm going to be on it tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm very excited about it, just so you know.
I'll see you there.
I'm just inviting myself on now, apparently. And, of course, Stu Does America as well. Please join all of our YouTube pages.
Alex and I are going to be on it.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's apparently going to be a party on the News and Why It Matters.
We're going to have a blast tomorrow.
Yeah, we're all on it.
If you enjoyed the broadcast here tonight, make sure and of course, we have exclusive access live to all of our great content all the time. If you get a Blaze TV subscription, you'll join the club. It's where the cool kids hang out. For a limited time, you can head to blazetv.com/SOTU. Enter the promo code SOTU. You'll save $20 off your subscription. And you might notice we didn't get to a straight bingo, really? I don't think. I mean, did anyone get it? I don't think so.
I felt like I did, but I didn't want to brag.
I didn't get it. I tried playing.
It's
You
fine.
tried?
I feel like screaming bingo.
I got 3 out of 5, but I never got a 5-piece McNugget, as we say.
There you go. Thanks for playing along with us. Anyway, for the next 24 hours, you can get 20% off at Blaze Merch Store when you use the code BINGO. So do that. Go to shop.blazemedia.com, enter the code BINGO. You get 20% off on all merch for a limited time. So go do that now. And if you'd like to hang out for even longer and hang out with us maybe a little bit for a little post-show coverage, head over to youtube.com/StuDoesAmerica. I will be going live here in a couple of minutes with some closing thoughts. We will see you there. Thanks for hanging out, and thank you for tolerating not only our idiocy and drunkenness, but also Joe Biden's blather. Yeah, that's right. Alex Stein's completely
I'm
sober.
I'm on fentanyl.
He's
I'm
sober.
on
All of us were drunk.
Yes.
I've been huffing glue.
Well, yes. I mean, he's sober when it comes to alcohol, but
Not all of us
not
were
when it comes
drunk,
to
Kevin.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you over at youtube.com/StuDoesAmerica. Panel, thank you guys so much. Thanks for sitting through this
Thank
and
you.
making it sufferable.
Good night.
Good night.
Doug.
Doug.
Good night.